I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have a bit of. Oh, is that a triple stun for the Mystic?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Value Pack. We missed last week. Sorry about that. Basically, I had just had my heart wrenched out of my chest because the Saints had lost in the playoffs, and I was not in a very good mood. So you would have gotten a very, very angry version of Rezlar, way more angry than usual. So yeah, didn't record last week, but we're back. We're doing this shit today, and we got a fucking mind-blowing guest today. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Sacha himself. Thank you.
Thanks, dudes. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, so starting out, you've your reputation goes back for fucking ever in this game. Like, I feel like when I first started playing BDO, which was right around when Dark Knight was coming out, I heard about like Blackrose and like these stories of the server merges and how everything kind of came to be and here and there. So I'm kind of curious just from you, because I've really only heard it from or through the grapevine. So what is where did Sacha come from? Where did Blackrose come from? How did you become GM and like sort of your start in BDO?
Ooh, wow. This is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So I came from Uno for server merge.
Woo!
Yeah, good old Uno boys. People like King of All Sand and all the rest of it were there too, right? We had a lot of names back then, but came from Uno. The guild was super casual when I joined it. Obviously, I started out super fresh. I didn't think I was going to play the game at all. I just I tried it. My friend recommended it, and then after day one, I noticed I wasn't getting off it, which was very concerning. As I hadn't played MMOs in a long time, right? So going from League of Legends to a brand new MMO and getting addicted straight away, I was freaking out, but we're all good. We're here. We're still here, which is also worrisome, I guess. And then basically we had a couple of changes. I think it's really hard for guilds to balance, especially back then, like filling up with the right sort of people, right? So like we had, 50% of the guild was sort of casual or like, life skilling and stuff, didn't really want to PvP. Then the other 50% was like pretty hard on PvP. And I think one of the biggest things, even to this day, that guilds face is, you're going to hear dogs. One of the biggest things you face is you get like a bit of a rift or a split in the guild if people aren't on the same page, right? So just say we're all in the same guild, one of you's out PvPing, and you ask for help, and I go, nah, I'm doing my farms. You know what I mean? You're going to be...
Fuck this guild then, fucking bitches. Never help anybody.
Exactly, dude.
I'm going to barcode.
So in the beginning, that's what happened, and then the guild had a big shift because myself and a couple others left, and I think we left for a week or two. We joined some other guild that was PvPing all the time. Like we came back, they changed everything. They were super about PvP, blah, blah, blah. They made like a casual guild that was like attached to it, and they put sort of the PvEs or the casuals in there and started headed towards like a more PvP, what do you call it? More PvP direction, right? The direction was more PvP based. I was never supposed to be main shot caller, just throwing that out there. I was a backup if we needed it. And then the main quit after 2 weeks and I had to take over. Then I started shot calling. And then I started really enjoying it, really loving it, really loving yelling at people. Although I didn't yell much back then, right? I just, I was a bit very polite and blah, blah, blah. But different leadership back then. I wasn't actually the GM. I was an officer, right? And I mean, I don't know what else you want to know besides we came to server merge and it was pretty tough.
So let me take a second to explain, because I know that there's a lot of people who if not like a majority of people who are playing like post server merge and might not even know about it. And also we have a lot of people that listen to the podcast that are on Xbox. So back in the day, in ye old days of Black Desert Online on PC, there were actually 3 different servers, and it wasn't like channels. These were servers. Your character was on a server. If you swapped to another, or if you went to another server, then your character wouldn't be there. It wasn't a channel, it was a server. And there were 3 of them called Uno, Eden, and Orwin. And then at a certain point, the population of each server was getting like a little too low, especially on like, I know it was a big problem on like Orwin. It was like a little bit, it was starting to become a small issue on Uno. I mean, you literally had, I think it was barcode take 3 regions in Uno because you could do that back in the day.
But I can run you through. I can give you a more detailed version of everything. It's just I don't know how long it would take.
It'll take all. It'll take all.
But
day.
yeah, so servers merged. So and then there wasn't an Orwin and Uno or an Eden anymore. But Blackrose was a pre-server merge guild and one of the strongest on Uno.
So when Blackrose came over to like after the server merge, like who were the strong guilds at the time, and how strong was Blackrose after that?
Oh, dude, who did you have? You had Gravity, I think, FML. It's so everything like we've been here so long, it just mixes through. You don't even know the timelines anymore.
Right.
Gravity, Man Up, Snake was Vision, I think back then.
Yeah.
Yep, they were Vision.
You had Barcode, obviously, and you had Iconic.
What was
Iconic?
Mango Bang?
Iconic, yeah, Iconic.
Okay.
So when we came to server merge, first thing one of the officers did was like, let's set up a GVG with this guild. Like, I think it was FML, but I could be wrong. Anyway, they set up this GVG. I said, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea, dude. Like, these guys, you think we've got gear? Like, nah, we don't have gear at all. We do not have gear. Anyway, rocked up, set up this GVG or this, whatever it was, and we just got absolutely plowed. And they weren't even the top guild from Eden, right? Or Edan, whatever you want to call it. So I think the Edan guilds at that time were pretty much superior to everyone except maybe Barcode and Iconic. Barcode being filled with every person with gear from Uno for the most part. And I'd say we were second from Uno, second rank, but Barcode's gear was just insane back then as well.
Right.
So they could match everyone else. Then you had Iconic from Orwin, right? Iconic came over. The problem with Iconic was as soon as they came over, from what I believe, is they tried to start controlling everything off the bat, right? You go here. They started organizing Man Up and stuff, and they told us where to go on nodes for the week so that we'd all get qualified in the first week so that we could all siege for the first region fight ever, but with the server merge, right? And they started doing this, and I remember this node they dropped on because they basically told everyone where they were going. Man Up was like lols and dropped on their node when they had been told to go to another node, right? And they absolutely smashed Iconic, from what I remember. So straight off the bat, I think Iconic lasted 2 weeks or something. They literally just got destroyed. Like you got to remember, you come into a server merge, 3 different servers. You don't really know what the strengths or like the attitude of the guilds, right? And how the attitudes of the guilds are. And when they did that and tried to control all these big guilds with big egos, that was bad, very bad for them.
Yeah.
And like there was also the issue of like coming from Orwin that was always like memed into oblivion by Uno and Eden. Like it just feels bad, dude. There was Eden was like known as like the hardcore PvP server. Orwin was known as like the casual life skill server, and Uno was like the in between, like the everyman server.
Yeah.
So it was like they just got memed into oblivion. Feels bad. Also, wasn't that right after, like right when server merged happened? Didn't the number 2 guild from Orwin merge with Man Up, which is really what made Man Up so strong?
I'm pretty sure they did, but
I can't
also
remember the name of
Gravity
it.
did.
Was that Mango Bay or is that a different?
No,
one?
that was different.
V something, I think.
Yeah. Because that was Zethian's guild, right? That was the guild.
Zethian, Avid,
Yeah.
bunch of other. I can't remember, to be
Right.
honest. But
No, Mango Bay merged into Man Up back when they were on Eden still. This was right when server merge happened.
But weeks into it, Gravity and Man Up also merged. So not only did Man Up get those guys later on, they got Gravity pretty early on, if I remember correctly too. So Gravity was like right up there as well, and they were massive. They were just complete enemies from what I remember from Eden, and they them merging just like turned them into this insane powerhouse back then. And they ended up focusing Barcode after Iconic and took them out too.
Well, because Orca was being a troll, right?
Yeah, he was definitely being a troll. But they were calling each other out all the time.
It was all in good fun, but yeah. I remember. Yeah. Do you remember back on Uno, Sasha, when when server merge was about to happen, like a week, maybe 2 weeks before server merge was about to happen, all of a sudden you had everyone saying, well, like, it doesn't matter what people are going to do pro server merge because Orca and Lakari are friends. And that means Man Up and Barcode are going to team up on every node in every region, and nobody's going to be able to do anything about it. And it was like nothing like that happened.
I do remember that, dude.
So shortly after that, Man Up gets like ridiculously strong. Vision, how did Snake get strong or Vision get strong? Like, did they have a merge as well? Because like they sat on Valencia or on Medaya during the time like Man Up was on Valencia for fucking like 42 weeks or something too, right?
Yeah, they did. I think they might have got a merge. I can't really remember. I'm trying to think of the guild. I wonder if it was Iconic. I could be wrong.
No,
I wonder didn't they split into two?
Yeah, I don't know, because I just remember Vision, like, when I first started, I saw Vision, didn't hear much about him, and then that dude Summit 1G joined them, and then all of a sudden, like, everyone wanted to be in that guild, and it became, like, a name, and then they name changed to Snake, and then sat Medaya forever.
Well, they name changed whenever they had the GM change, didn't they? I think.
It's... Oh wow! I wish we had a timeline, dude.
I know. Why did nobody keep it? Why did no one record this history?
All the node wars, all the sieges every week for the last 4 years or whatever. Oh,
right.
It's hard.
So I'm kind of curious. When once Man Up was sitting in there forever, it was like every week. I remember thinking like there was this argument on Reddit or whatever. It was like, well, Siege is fucked up. Cacao PA needs to do something about it, and then the counter argument was like, well, no, guilds need to stop being bitches and just like ally and actually go take out Man Up. And then there were a bunch of times that people tried to do it, but it wasn't until like the Vertex, Cho, Blackrose, Vincier thing kind of happened. So I'm kind of curious from just your side of things, how did that all come to be, and what happened with Vincier, and how did that end up like breaking apart?
Okay. So we definitely kicked Man Up out before that as well. I had organized basically a bunch of the top guilds to go hit those guilds. We decided to hit Snake first. We took them out. And then we basically used Snake to push Man Up as well. But the only stipulation was that Snake got the castle. Mm-hmm. So we'd done it previously as well. The problem is Snake's Diplo back then was like, sure, everyone makes deals and stuff now, but the Diplo back then was they would find out instantly from someone in the top guild, right? When we had a meeting, they found out instantly we had a meeting. During the meeting, they called me out. And they don't just target you in game, they target you in other aspects, right? That's the problem. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we're going to kill your guild comes with that and all the rest of it. And it actually like scared people off wanting to touch them, right? And it wasn't just, oh, you guys are pussies. You know, everyone, you need to band together and come and get us. I can't actually explain how strong Man Up was, but they also had guilds that dropped in that region every week, between 4, 5, 6 guilds or something like that.
Right.
right, that would help them. That would stay there and literally just block them. Because I'm pretty sure they were handing off nodes during the week to them.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with them dropping their Siege guild and then dropping into a Node War guild? Do you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, back before the apprentice system.
Yeah. And that would cover a lot of the nodes during the week and really limit the other people from securing. Because Snake and Man Up back then, and this is all my point of view, right? They would basically rotate on the higher tier node each day, like a different one each, and sort of block you from, basically limit everyone else from getting access to Siege, and then hand out to other guilds. It was really, everything was controlled, super, super controlled. So it wasn't just, that was their perspective, right? Yo, man up, bloody come and get us, like, get your guilds together. Like, no, like, they controlled everything, and if you even thought of coming there, you get a message. And I'll tell you right now, man, a lot of the people in this game, they get a message from Man Up back then saying they're going to kill their guild, and they would start hunting you and memeing you and doing this, that most people wouldn't touch it. But we definitely did many times.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing that I remember, like the meme or whatever their stance they tried to like propagate out there was like, we're just looking for fights. Remember? It was like, we just want to fight just as much as everyone else. Remember that?
Yep.
And it was like, well, are you sure?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The real reason Blackrose didn't die was because you never had a game of guilds made about you.
A game of guilds. I don't know, bro. We've been woo,
yeah, they've
pretty
been
targeted.
So how did the Vincier like merge come about, and how did that fall apart?
I'm trying to think. I think so. Back then, it's hard to remember
because that was like
I think we were fighting.
Wasn't it like it was Hexus, Velocity, like Blackrose? Who else was in that?
It was Hexus and Blackrose back then. So now this is just after me, like a month before telling Firen to fuck off. He's a blah blah blah. I don't want to repeat the other words. I'll never work with you again, kid. Right?
Okay.
Just after I'd said that, a month later, yo, you want to merge? And we ended up doing that. But I can't remember why. I think I got fed up with having like just people that were casual or not progressing at the time.
Right.
And we started just like, I was like, fuck this. We're just kicking. We're kicking. And we started removing like 20, 30, whatever people for, I don't even know how many it was. And we were just going to stay low numbers and then maybe rebuild. But then we were like, okay, I was Salt my second back then. We were talking about a merge. So we were like, okay, he convinced me to basically work with Hexus and maybe get a merge going. And we did. I remember being in Bali on holidays, freaking in calls with Firen when I'd go back to my like room. And we ended up merging, and the guild was super strong. The problem was the leadership, like we just didn't see eye to eye at all on things. Very different styles.
Yeah.
Super strong, but wasn't going to work.
I could see that now, being under both regimes myself.
Regimes.
I remember it was like whenever you guys left Vincier and you started Blackrose back up, it was like, oh, well, like, what are the, like, no guild, or, like, very few. Actually, it may have been no guild at that point. Maybe there was someone before, but I don't remember. But it was, like, no guild has ever, like, merged with somebody and then just unmerged and then had it work.
Yeah,
then,
that was the thing that kind of...
after you guys left Vincier, you guys were back up to, like, 90 people. It was like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's what I remember distinctly, too. It was, like, kind of blew my mind. Like, the merge, like, fell apart or whatever, split up. Blackrose is recruiting. I see recruitment messages, and then like, I don't know, all in like a month, maybe 6 weeks, all of a sudden Blackrose is like top 5, like back out of nowhere. Yeah.
I can't even. It wasn't even. It was like 2 weeks, dude. It was stupid. It was ridiculous. We were like, all right. I left, dude. I was going to quit the game. I was done. I was so beyond myself in Vincier. We'll say Vincier, but the Italians and stuff will correct you know how it's pronounced. I don't know how it's pronounced, whatever. But I was beyond myself. I went and played on Southeast Asia, dude. I was having a ball there. I was like, why am I hating North America so much, but able to play on Southeast Asia servers with like having a blast, like No Awakens, old school, like all this. It was fantastic. And I'm like, why? What is this? And then I started getting messages from like my part of the merge. And that's a problem, right? Me saying my part, like some people were getting on well, but there was just the ideologies behind both were just super split. But they were messaging me, yo, Sash, you need to come back. We can't do that. We hate this. What is this? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and then I finally was like, you know, fuck it. All right, let's leave then. Let's go back. We had like a vote, and like I can't even tell you how many were just like, yeah, let's go back. Fuck it. And we're like, all right, we're gonna go back. We're gonna be like a 50-man guild. We're gonna see Monster Hunt. We're gonna PvP. We're just gonna have fun. Who cares? Let's relax. Like, fuck this, dude. We gotta play for fun. Why are we playing with all this, like, so much politics all the time and all the rest of it, right? Like, why do we have to? Like, let's just have fun and chill. We're a Sea Monster guild now. We come back. We left with 50. We came back with 60. And then we got in some big, I'd say, like, we got 1s and 2s in, but then we got, like, the guilty boys in at the time. There was, like, 15 of them or 20 of them.
Right. We
capped out super early, and we just played really well together. I remember, like, we dropped with haste against Barcode and someone on Balanos, and this sort of started the big fight, right? We dropped with them, and Barcode was stronger than us back then, apparently, right? Like they were really strong at the time. They're doing really well, and they called us out for the whole. Remember that Zerker and the what was it called? Hacking in history or whatever it was supposed to be. It called us out on that, and we.
Oh right.
We honestly used that as a reason to go hit him.
Hack Rose,
dude. Hack Rose, Rat Rose, Fringe Rose, whatever you want. And we went there, and Haste died. I think it was Haste at the time. They died, and when we were in a 2v1 against. What guild was it? Legatum? I can't remember.
Barcode were like butt buddies with Legatum back then, so it probably was. Yeah. Odds are it was Legatum.
And we 1v2'd them. Yeah. And dude, like for the guild, everyone was like, the feeling was, I mean, how often do you 1v2 like that, right? Everyone was just like, woo! And people were watching the streams, I guess, at the time, or the videos after, whatever. Everyone was like G'd up. Like people were just like, oh, that looks so awesome. And we started like recruiting just started like boosting and booming. Like it was insane. And just a really good feeling. And then we did, straight after that, we had, I think it was after that. I could be wrong, but around the same time, we defended Valencia against Cho Nation.
Mm-hmm.
And we won. Oh no, we took Valencia from Vexus. So we pushed Valencia Castle.
Right, I remember that.
We took it from Vexus.
Yep.
Right. Then we held it against Cho. And then Vertex put out this huge thing. We, Vertex, have deemed Blackrose worthy of us 1v1ing them in a castle. You know what I mean? And we were like, all right, let's fucking go. Like, it's Vertex, dude. Okay, shit, this is going to be hard. And I'll tell you right now, back then, there's no way they drop if they think they lose. They thought they had that in the bag.
Right.
We had a flex team on their base. They had the whole time. We had their base at 50%. They had no annexes in their base, and they didn't win. We stalemated it. And like all these wins, these crazy wins for us, for this new guild being back, the boys were just kicked it off. And then
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and then right around that time, I think like shortly after that, I joined Blackrose, and that was when we then we got into the 2v2s, where I'm going to say it just from my point of view. So the first time we fought, we tried to 2v2 against Barcode, it was us and Barcode, Blackrose and Barcode against Vertex and Cho, but Haste dropped. You remember that? And Haste had supposedly agreed that they wouldn't interfere with the 2v2, but then like 4 minutes in, full pushed our base.
Right, I can just remember.
Yeah, Bajer. And then so that didn't go very well. We died pretty quick. And then the second time after that, like we placed again, and this time we got a legitimate 2v2, but Barcode was placed directly between Cho and Vertex. You remember that? So we couldn't even help them. And they died in like 28 minutes or something.
Wasn't that us?
No. So they killed no, they killed Barcode first. They killed Barcode first, and we were trying like our best to help, but we couldn't do shit to get to him. Like we would try to help, but it was just like impossible. And then the following week, I remember thinking like we were gonna run it again, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, dude, this is embarrassing now. Like we're about to lose 3 weeks in a freaking row, and then this time we had good base placement. Cho was in the castle at the time, and Vertex was on the outside, and we just were basically in a 1v1 against Vertex, while Barcode was in a 1v1 against Cho. And after like 48 minutes, we get Vertex completely wiped, like their annexes. They have their full ball up. They're chasing us around, and right as they engage into us, kinetic CTGs on their base and axes them down. And it was just like, that was like one of the craziest moments for me in BDO, where it was just like the most difficult, like high pressure win. We're just like, holy shit, we fucking did it. We beat Vertex and Cho Nation in a 2v2, like a legitimate 2v2 with no, like, there was a third guild, there was no one got zerged, it was like completely fair. And then right after that, it was kind of sad because then Vertex, like, leadership all quit.
So I remember that, but it was us, dude. We got 2v1.
We got 2v1? Are you sure?
We built too early. I can't remember why. And Cho and Vertex built min distance from our base and just absolutely precious, dude.
Right.
We told Barcode they needed to push the other base. That's it. Like, you don't do anything else. You own the castle. You need to push the enemy's base. But they kept basically open field to them at the time. Now, it was a combination of us having really bad placement. Barcode just wasn't on target with the goal at the time.
Right.
They just needed to pull someone off us. And then we'd have a better chance, right? But that was what happened, and we died that quick. And then the next week, you're right, we were like, no, fuck this, dude. Let's drop again. Let's fucking go. Who cares? Let's go.
Yeah,
and so we dropped. And then what we did when we get right with this one, we were 1v1 in Vertex, and we were just in control. It was awesome.
Whole time.
Never been in control. So people will, it's interesting because people think, look, Blackrose talking themselves up again, blah, blah, blah. For me, I've never beaten Vertex, dude. So at that stage, right? I was like, we had got them to 10% once. We had a node war with them where we got them down like 30%. We ran out of time. Our base was full. Like, we'd never beaten them. So for me, people misunderstand. Like, it's like a compliment to them, right? That I feel so good about actually beating your guild finally in 2 years, right?
Right.
People misinterpret like talking to themselves. Like, no, your guild is strong. Like, for us to beat you, that's awesome. And in a 2v2 with Cho as well, right? Barcode felt the same, but we were controlling Vertex. We told Barcode, all you need to do, boys, stay at the gate, drop stun traps everywhere, keep Cho at bay. They won't move. They'll barely move. They had flex team and stuff come out. That's fine, but they barely moved. And they did it. They did exactly that. We locked them in. We took out Vertex, and then we moved to the castle. And we were just – that was one of the best wins in the game for me ever. That was
one
great.
Was epic. And no, you're right. I was thinking of the I was thinking of the one 2 weeks before with Haste, because that one we were trying to help Barcode, but it was just like we had so much pressure on us from Haste also hitting us that it was like impossible to help Barcode.
It was Haste and Cho, right? That were hitting us.
It was like Haste and Cho were hitting us, and then anytime we split off, or like we'd go turtle, then Haste would go hit them, and then we'd go try to help Barcode, and then Haste would hit us, and it was just like, fuck, we're fucked. Yeah, we died so fast in that one too. It like looked bad. Like that in the second week though, you're right. When we got pincered or whatever, it was just like, dude, I don't know if we can win this. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe we should just go to Calpheon, nice safe castle. But yeah, that was crazy. So fast forward to today. Where is Blackrose now? Because I know you guys have some beef with Cho. Cho is, at least from my view, and probably a lot of people in the community, Cho's gotten a lot stronger. I think that's fair to say, right?
That's very fair to say. Yeah.
Recently, and then Snake. I don't know where Snake is, but yeah, where's kind of like what are the rankings in your view? If you can be as controversial or not as you want, but
We'd
where's-
prefer you be more controversial
Yeah.
so we get more views.
where are the top 5 guilds? Where are the
Yeah.
top 5 guilds?
Those 2
stand?
guilds are garbage, and no, I'm just kidding. It's honestly really hard to say, but like I'll put it this way: the last couple of encounters we had with Cho, it was like us and Barcode against Cho Snake, and we were getting wiped by Cho open field. Honestly, we were. But that was months ago. I'm trying to think when. And I'd love to 1v1 those guys again, right? That's a challenge, right?
Mhm.
Their PA rotations, their heal rotations are spot on. They're super smart about it. Like a lot of their top end are like good players. So they're super hard to beat. But I can't actually. I would say Cho is first. I don't know where Snake is.
Okay, so Snake is
But-
not the undisputed number 1 at all.
No.
Some
partly
people still
because
think that.
they're. Yeah, but all people look at is gear, if you ask me.
Right.
And the PR spins that guilds can have is huge. For example, I'll say this real quick. We literally agreed to a 1v1 20 minutes before Siege this week. They drop on Media with us. Filter was in there as well. Filter was like, we'll stay out of it. We'll just wait to defend against the winner or whatever. And they agreed, and then basically placed on Valencia, right? So
Yeah.
just to give you an idea, and that's me just telling the truth. That's exactly what happened. And then they blamed it on B-Kill, saying, no, he didn't want to do it. Like he dropped something.
Yeah.
But Cho's super fucking strong. I mean, they on a node, I'd say more recently, absolutely annihilated us. But for me, nodes or whatever, like sometimes our node strength can be super strong. Sometimes it can be average. It depends on the composition. It depends on who comes out. It's not like lower tier nodes and like lower number nodes are very like skewed. I don't know.
Right.
Siege is the determiner. As a guild, dude, I know you said we're at odds with Cho.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we've been fighting pretty much since TwitchCon, I would say. We're up against Man Up, Corrupt, Cho Nation, Snake, Vertex doesn't like us, and Filter didn't like us, right? Pretty much all of them. We wouldn't really see Vexus that much. Barcode
No one ever does. We hide in the shadows.
Yeah. But it's been every Siege guild, dude. Like every GVG we have, like I don't think people understand. It hasn't just been one guild. It's been 3 guilds bringing numbers, right? That's really hard for us to match. I mean, matching Cho Nation as is, I'm sure you fought them in GVGs, but Cho Nation brings a lot of people quite regularly. So for us to match them, as hard as it is, you bring another 2 guilds in. Oh, Bassi Corps, forgot about them.
Mm-hmm.
It's been every guild, dude. People don't understand. It's literally been every guild against us, and Barcode as well, because Barcode's, we're allies with them. So it's been pretty tough, but also super fun. Just when the game's like, I hear people say, there's no PvP in this game. Dude, I'm not joking, 3-4 GVGs a day. It's insane. Snake and Bassi came out to fight me at Sulphur. Like, and that's it, seriously. And like,
What
it's
the hell were you
been
doing at
nuts.
Sulphur Mines?
The map, dude.
Oh my god.
The map. But our guild has had so much PvP. Like, I honestly thought, I was like, okay, we've got every guild in the Siege scene against us. We can't really drop anywhere. Like, we really can't. It's all controlled. It's all rotated. It's all scripted, right?
Right.
And you'll start to see some of these guilds bounce out of it because, am I going off topic? I feel like I am.
No.
No.
You're good.
Okay,
You're exactly
okay.
on topic. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. You'll start to see some guilds starting to bounce out of it because you're getting told what to do.
Right.
You're getting told you got to get this person at 20% and walk. This is where you'll be next week. Hey, we need you not to drop until last minute so we can, for example, maybe Blackrose is in this region. We find them there. We need you to drop there to reinforce so they can't get anything, so they don't have fun, right? It's not about having a good fight. It's about making sure we don't get a fight, we don't get to participate, we don't get to have fun. So at the same time, we have that many GVGs, dude. Our guys have a fucking blast all the time. It's actually stupid. I wish people could have like a day in the life of a Blackrose member. I swear, like it's actually stupid, dude. It's dumb how much shit we get, how much PvP we get. It's ridiculous. And I sound like I'm exaggerating it, but I'm not. It's actually just stupid all the time. And I feel like it started to lessen when we started calling these guilds out. You know, we were like, yo, you guys rock up to these GVGs. You come and gank us. As soon as you do it, you call 3 or 4 guilds, right? There's 3 or 4 guilds there. There's Snake, there's Cho, there's Bassy, you know? And every time we're calling them out, right? So I felt like they started just showing up by themselves until they maybe started losing, and then you see the other guilds start coming in, and the other guilds start coming in. So they started like, oh, okay, we are rocking up in, as you know, we're just zerging every time. I know for a fact some of the guilds that were a part of the alliance or are a part of the alliance don't come to the GVGs and whatnot because it's boring for them. Some of the members of the main guilds that go, they don't go. It's boring because they're just zerging. And then what do they do when we leave?
Right.
Fucking nothing. Right? And again, this is all my point of view, but my point of view is right. I'm a shot caller. I'm always right.
So from your point of view, what do you think the reason is guilds like, I mean, I'm just going to lump Blackrose in because you hear it from all points of view. Like if you ask someone that's not in Blackrose, it's like, oh, Blackrose doesn't want a 1v1. You ask someone from Blackrose, Snake doesn't want a 1v1. Why do you think the guilds don't want to do like an organized, like legitimate 1v1? Is it just pride? Or like,
I think guilds are afraid to lose. I'm not joking. I think that's it. It's a pride thing, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Man, like I would legitimately watch. I think the whole server would watch if there was an organized like community event, maybe even add a fucking prize pool, dude. Snake vs. Blackrose, open field Serendia, no other guilds, stream it like on both sides so you can kind of watch it. That would be so much fun. Or Blackrose versus Cho or whatever. And it's just like never happens.
Yeah, it's not about that though. That's the problem. It's not about the fun. Right? It's about control, it's about image. It's about pride, ego, you know?
Yeah.
So I've called Cho out for 1v1 Siege like plenty of times. And they straight away go, look, you guys will never do that. It's thrown back on us, right? The deflect. You guys will bring a small cannon guild or something. What? Right? Every time. But we've called them out because Cho Nation and Snake, to us, are the biggest challenges we'll get, right? And we like to have a challenge. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, Filter has a lot of good players, and they got unlucky on the weekend, but we won Push the Castle, right? Like a lot of our guys, you know, they have decent gear. We have a lot of decent players, you know, even though certain people will say we don't. Not going to name names though. We're all good. And like anything below, I feel like Cho and Snake at the moment it doesn't mean it's easy. It's just, for the most part, it's like we know the outcome, right? And it doesn't mean they have bad shot callers, or it doesn't mean they're, they're weak. I just think we are strong, and at the end of the day, gear matters too, right? There's a lot of things going into that, and Cho and Snake are the ones that will give us the best fight, but they don't want to do it.
Right. So I know a lot of people think, I hear this a lot, that the Siege scene is dead. What say you on the Siege scene being dead? Is the Siege scene dead? How healthy is the Siege scene?
It's dead if you make it dead.
What does that mean?
So all the scripting that, like I said, dude, let's name the Siege guilds real quick.
Okay.
All right. Hang on. Let me think here. You got your hand out? You're gonna have to count.
I got this. Yeah.
Okay, I'll count.
All right.
Was the Siege ranking posted today yet?
I got it. All right.
Check that.
So Snake, I'm just going to rattle all the ones off the top of my head. Snake,
Yep.
Barcode, Blackrose, Cho Nation, Bassy Core, Vertex, Vexus. Now we have Filter as well. Corrupt. Legatum. They're a little bit newer, but Legatum. Challenger, aka FML now.
I hate that.
Who else is there?
So let's not worry about the battle on Serenity ones.
Okay, all right. So we'll leave it at that then.
We're only talking real Siege guilds.
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
so
Well,
calm
they're
down.
just not in. They're only just coming into it. They're fresh. They're new.
Yeah, they're just
You
not
know, don't wanna-
important.
Yeah, let's not put them under the microscope. They're not
right.
important right now. Let them have their thing. Let them work up to it. Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
And I think Cho Nation. I think I forgot Cho Nation.
Yeah.
In that.
So it's
Okay.
like 9 or something.
Mhm.
I actually lost count. I'll be honest. I didn't do math very well in math.
I think it's like 6 or 7.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it again. Yeah, we'll get a little bit of a conflict. All right.
Yeah.
Hang on.
All right. I think it was
So-
about it. Yeah.
Cho, Snake, Vertex, Vexus, Corrupt, Filter, Blackrose, Barcode, Bassi.
9.
Yeah?
Yep.
9.
That's
And then we
right.
had Man
Check.
Up 10 back, right?
Man up.
Just
10.
to show that out there.
Okay.
Okay. Out of those guilds, we were friends with Barcode.
Right. Okay.
Everyone else
Uh-huh.
was friendly. Yo, we'll drop here. Blah, blah, blah. No one wanted to drop in Media because of Snake, but Snake's friends with them all too. Right. Just to give you an idea. So what's that? That leaves 8 guilds,
Okay.
including Man Up, right?
Yeah.
So 8 guilds, but Man Up died, which was hilarious for us, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't join Blackrose, be free.
Right.
Interesting. Was their partying comments, or the partying comments, whatever. They died. But hang on, we're the guild that's supposed to be getting killed. What? Man Up's dead? We didn't do anything. Right? All these guilds against us and Man Up dies? Interesting. Okay. And then Vertex. Suddenly the GM kicks everyone and takes all the money or something like that, right? We'll make it sound a bit more exaggerated.
Mhm.
You know, ran off with someone's wife or something like that. Like it's something like that, right? So all these guilds against us, and 2 of their guilds die, even though Vertex is rebuilt, right? But 2 of these guilds die. I think it's hilarious. But the siege team is dead because they're all working together. You can't be friends with everyone. Otherwise, like, hey Larry, yo, let's play pool this weekend, but you can win. Yeah, that sounds good. It's just stupid shit. Like that's just how I feel about it. Like you can't be friends with everyone. There needs to be a split. There needs to be a divide. You know, so there is the more organic fights coming out. Yeah, every now and then you do have to hand off to an ally because you both worked hard to beat this other alliance in a region, right?
Right,
sure. Right. But like the constant handoffs, the constant known outcome is garbage. I also understand, people organize fights and it might not mean there's a known winner. But you go, okay, you 2 are together, you 2 are on the other team, fight it out. Whoever wins, right?
Mhm.
Cool. That's cool to a degree too. But there's been nothing organic besides, honestly, what Blackrose has brung to any region with fucking Barcode.
Right.
Everything else is organized. They're all together, right? So, I mean, Barcode took off they tried to do a couple of things with those guys, which was cool. They told us about it. We're like, yeah, dudes, do your thing, man. We understand. We're not going to be able to help you go anywhere, right? You do your thing. And then they went to surrender and that. And while they did that, we were like, okay, well, if we can't go to any other region, let's push Snake. Because that's challenging, right? That's fucking challenging.
Right.
With all their shies and stuff. First week we dropped. What happened first week? First week we dropped. We had no practice or anything. We didn't do anything. 2 hours, nothing. Okay, no worries. Second time we dropped, Snake got Cho to get into a Merc Guild, 40 of their members or something with others,
Yeah.
and Snake and the Merc Guild 2v1'd us, right? And we managed to take out the Merc Guild before we died, and we were doing really well against Snake open field. Now, they might have had 70 people, 80 people, whatever the fuck they had that time, but we were coming out with 5 losses or 10 losses at the end of a push, I swear. It was stupid. So I'm going to assume they were low on numbers. Okay? But they still dropped with Cho. They didn't want to 1v1 us for some reason. Third time we dropped, we had been practicing. We had strats down. V strats didn't work, right? V strats didn't work. Shy is a joke in this game. It really is. I'll take that back. The bubble is a joke. The bubble is a joke. It's not just a 5-second bubble. The rubber banding lasts another 2 to 3 seconds. It's an 8-second desyncy bubble piece of shit. It shouldn't be in the game. It really shouldn't, right? How are you supposed to push? First of all, we're told to keep our gates up. Let's remember that, right? You own a castle, keep your gates up for the enemy. What? Question mark?
Yeah.
Right? Question mark? Get a battering ram. Give us some more siege equipment to use, right? Sorry, I'm going to rant. Then you've got the Shies who bubble. Now you've got Shies bubbling you as you push in. It's so stupid. Anyway, we pushed Snake. We didn't do too well. We couldn't do anything. They just had so many Shies. We got rubber banded the whole time. So what we did the last half an hour, we're just going to have to int the wheel. That's a great mechanic, right? The only way to push through this fucking thing is everyone ints on the wheel to get the gate down one tick. That is the stupidest thing in the world. But you know what? Cool. Fuck strategy. Fuck planning. Let's just int the wheel. We got their gate to 10% in the last half an hour.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We dropped again. Snake didn't show up. They said they're all on holidays because Christmas was coming next week. What?
They was on holiday, dude.
What?
Early flights, dude.
So my guild's crazy, dude. After that one where we got the gate, the wheel to 10%, I said, yo, how many of you idiots are down to push this again? X, just all these X, yes. You know, yes, everyone. Okay. Are you sure? What? You guys are nuts. Like, I'm okay with this stuff. I like challenging. I like trying to, take over a castle. Like, that to me is interesting, right? But surely this isn't like what you guys want to do. You're crazy. You want to push Snake again? Yep, let's go. All right, let's work on more strats. Let's do this. Let's do that. And we were ready, dude. We were ready, and Snake didn't show up. And I think that's the first time Snake really hasn't shown up. Especially, I don't think anyone's really pushed them 1v1 too much, right?
Right.
But for them not to show up to defend their precious media was it was a bit of a tease, but also Omega lol. Wait, is it Keck W? I'm a boomer. Is it Keck W? I don't know. One of those.
I don't know either. Rezlar, help us out. You play League of Legends. What's happening?
It would be, I mean, you could say a lot of different things. My go-to is always Omega lol.
Okay. Can I use Keck W though? I want to use Keck W.
Yeah, you can use Keck W.
All right, I'm going to use Keck W.
So
we rocked up. They weren't there. We took the castle. They were like memeing, Merry Christmas, this and that. I honestly think they saw us get the gate to 10% or super low in the last half an hour of actually pushing it like that. And I think maybe they might have been lower numbers that week, right? Sure. But with how they went the last time, you'd think, like, in terms of defending until we pushed the gate, I would think they would still come and fight it. The fact they didn't show up is the pussiest shit I've ever seen. The fact that they agreed to this 1v1 this week, yeah, we'll 1v1. They sounded super sketch just thrown in there and then didn't, right? Again, super pussy shit. It's ridiculous. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, we're crazy for pushing the castle in the first place, right?
Right.
Like, I don't understand. We're giving you they're a challenge, dude. It's Snake. They're super geared, right? They do have a lot of good PvPers. They have a lot of idiots as well, but every guild does. Right. It's just beyond me, dude. It's beyond me.
So, do you think there's something the devs need to do to make Siege more interesting, or it's just a community thing? Obviously, the shy bubble is a big thing because it's really, really cancer. But outside of that, like, if you could change anything to kind of improve Siege or make it more competitive or make people want to fight on it, or more guilds even participate, do you have anything that, I mean, you were saying like new Siege weapons to deal with the gate? Because the gate thing has always baffled me too. Like, it's like the weirdest thing where you have your gate up to keep it alive because cannons destroy it so fast. I don't know. That's always been odd to me. But do you have anything in particular?
Dude, I can't tell you how many times we've had this conversation in Guild, because there's so many flaws. And I love this game, right? I love this game. I just think, I'm sure you do too, right? You boys do too. It's just, there's so many little just things they should look at and really address. So, for example, gate being down should be a thing, but there should be a way. So a lot of what's dude, this is going to go on forever. Honestly, hang on. So a lot of the problems, you have right now, it's not just a siege thing, right?
Right.
It's node wars, right? People like the fact that they can sit in a shitty little guild. Some of them aren't. Some of them are, strong little node guilds, and then just murk out the siege and do what they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, that takes away a lot of let's be in a siege guild. Let's do this. Why do you want to be in a siege guild? Being able to siege with the boys, the camaraderie, all that, like it takes away from that. Yeah, I'll just murk out whoever's got the best fight, whatever. So there's so many people allowed to get away with that. That is taken from the siege scene as is. I think they need to readdress the whole merc system. I do like the merc system, but it needs to be readdressed so that there are reasons for people to be in siege guilds. Besides the fact of, I don't even know why I'm here. Why am I here? Shit, I don't even know. I love siege, right? I love that shit. I love shot calling. I love strategizing. But when strategy is taken away from it, look at protected area. Protected area is a joke. It really is. It needs to be changed. You shouldn't be able to go, okay, we have the most whiz-witch. We push your ball. We rotate PAs. We rotate heals. You guys all die. Oh, look, we have the most PAs. We're in a node war now. We're just going to dive on your base and we're going to PA rotate until it's dead. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the time, PA is so strong and so broken. Let's not forget wizards and witches don't use stamina either. So they can sprint at you. They can all just run straight at you and win every engage because they don't use stamina. If you've got a guild full of skirmishers, if they hard push, they use a lot of stamina getting to the ball, right? They run out of stamina during the fight, or when they're disengaging, they use stamina, and then that witch ball's running at you, dude. They just double TP, you're dead, right? It's just the whole situation is broken there, I think. The ballista's in the game, correct?
Yep.
How often do you see that?
You had to ask if it was in the game.
Yeah, is it still in the game? I don't even know.
Exactly. I the other day, I was like, yo, we're pushing Snake and Media. I want a ballista thing built. The little siegey thing that builds it. Get the annex up. I want it built. They're like, I'm like, can you buy ammo for it? They're like, no, you got to make it. I was like, how do I make it? They're like, do this. I'm like, what? It's like 10 mil a shot or something. I'm like, all right, forget it. Scrap the ballista. We're not using it. Fuck that. Like, I don't even want to use it because, first of all, no one uses it because apparently it's garbage. I wanted to see if it really, really is garbage. But so many people say it is, right? They've tried it. It's trash. Why have it? Why isn't that a thing? Right? Why can't you, for example, a lot of guilds, we do practices and stuff, but one of the reasons we do practices, or like if we're doing PvP, you've got to be in Discord, right? Which I know a lot of guilds do that part. But I like to bring the guild together for quite a few more things because this game is catering to people soloing and grinding by themselves and doing things by themselves, right? It doesn't really push grouping and working as a guild. So why can't they do stuff like maybe during the week, if you're planning to hit a big castle and stuff, maybe your guild has things to do to work on siege equipment that you can bring to the fight or something like that. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things they could do and maybe implement to make sieges more like strategy based and not just this bullshit PA diver wheel. That is so ridiculous to me. So ridiculous.
Right.
There's a lot of things that dude. There's a lot of things.
What do ogres do?
Ogres are good.
Are trolls
But
also good?
I think trolls aren't as good.
Right.
But
they're slow.
But I don't know if there's a limit on ogres or trolls. It's basically an elephant, right? The charge is super strong. It's got the stomp. It's got like a jump CC. It works really well. But we had 12 ogres run at us when we held Media against Corrupt and Filter, but we didn't hold it. We were holding.
Right.
Yeah.
12. I think it was 12 ogres, 2 trolls, 6 elephants in one push.
Yeah, because that was after the Ellie buff as well, right? Where now it's only 5 minutes instead of 10.
Yeah. Everything's super quick.
Which is like, why?
Yeah, dude. But I don't know if there's a cap on ogres. I think they're really strong if you use them properly. But if players focus them, they die very fast. And if elephants focus them, they die very fast. But they can be used very well. But again, that's just another elephant almost, right? Like, I don't understand why we don't have. I want siege equipment. Maybe I'm the only one, but that would be good. Like special teams is the thing, dude. You fight a guild that's got a good cannon team or a good harass team, they can do a lot of work to you. Even if they're like a weaker guild in terms of gear score, they can win. They can. The right plays. But that's all we've got. I think we need more for castles, dude. And we need to address this merc system to make people want to be a part of a siege guild. Whether it be maybe the incentive of owning a region is higher. I don't know if that's right, but something else to being in a siege guild. Like, I don't understand. If they want siege to flourish, which I don't know if they do, why are they making it so good to be a merc? You get 30 mil every time you merc, right?
Yeah.
If you win.
Yeah.
You get payouts in your basic guild, whatever you're in right now. And you get to pick the fight you want for the most part as well. Oh, you're fighting this person? Okay, I'll choose this fight. That's bullshit to me, dude. I hate that.
I think the bigger issue is that there's not a lot of siege guilds. Like,
But they're kind of
they can't build.
But there are a lot of siege guilds.
There's nowhere near what they used to be, but they can't build, bro. They can't build because people are like, nah, I'm chilling with my homies in Ghost Guild. I don't know, whatever the hell it is, right? I'm chilling here, and I'll just merc out if I siege. What? Like, it's hard for guilds to. It's super hard for guilds to build. Really, really hard.
Yeah, the merc thing is true because like I feel it too. Like when you're in a siege guild for a while, especially with. Because I've always disliked that when you own a castle, you can't do anything. Like, you feel kind of stuck. Like, it's cool, the reward's, like, pretty good, and the castle buff is nice, but then it's, like, not being able to participate in Node Wars for a week kind of is a drag. So, there are definitely times where I'm like, man, it'd be more fun to just be in, like, a T2 guild with my friends and then siege when I want to.
Yeah, that's what we do in Clash.
Yeah, so... Yeah, the incentives would be nice, and more shit to do would be nice. And yeah, I agree with siege weapons. The gate thing is just, it just doesn't make sense. Like in real life, it's just no one lifts the gate unless it's like the Red Wedding or something in Game of Thrones, you know?
Exactly.
I think we should be able to grind Hex Sanctuary and then get a scroll drop where for like 10 minutes in a siege we can play a Succession Stork. I think that would be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, Siege is fucking weird, man. I don't know, and it's weird because about a year ago, remember they were doing all those changes on Korea, and then they just stopped. They were like experimenting with all sorts of different game modes and rules and stuff, and then they just
What happened? I do not understand why they got rid of the rule that they had where you had to win a fucking T2, then you had to win a T3, then you had to win a T4, and then you couldn't go back down. Why the fuck did they get rid of that? That was the best rule they ever implemented, and it never even got to NA.
Can I just say, that stuff right there is super important too, you're right. Back in the day, you used to have to secure, 2 T3s to be able to participate in Siege?
Was it 2 T3s back today?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And now, because there wasn't T4s back then either. And then now, I'm pretty sure it's 2 T3s. Now you've got to any snipe guild can get a T3, T4. There's so many of them. People don't do 100-mans anymore, right? People don't do them. 100-man nodes are rare. And if they do, maybe they have 40 people max. Right? There's like these wasted nodes. Back in the day, we used to go, okay, we got our nodes, but our ally such and such doesn't have a node. We have to drop with them. We have to try and help them get secured for Siege. You know what I mean? Like, there's none of that anymore. Like, it's a little bit sweaty, but it also made things like super exciting and like, shit, we're like, oh no, like our enemies here, they've bought 2 or 3. Shit, like we got to scramble, right? Like, there's none of that anymore. It's like, yeah, we got our node for the week. We're chilling. Used to be able to block guilds from sieging, dude. Like, it sounds bad, but like maybe your enemy guilds, I don't know, maybe you want to try and stop them. Not that I condone it too much, but like we used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been saying...
You used to have to ask, like, oh, did they actually get a node this week? And like that doesn't really happen anymore. It's so easy.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is I mean, there's so many nodes because didn't it used to be it was more limited before, wasn't it? Because now, maybe I'm misremembering because I never really built, but didn't it like if you won a node, let's say at Hex Marie, like that you couldn't place on Hex Marie ever again. Now, isn't there like 2 or 3 node wars on Hex Marie a week now, where you can just keep placing there just as long as you don't place in the exact same spot? I'm pretty sure you can place on the same nodes now.
I think something like that.
Yeah, it's like weird. I don't know. There's just way too many nodes for the guilds, and then it's way too hard to
remove
become competitive.
Medea.
What about this? Remove Medea. Hey, back up.
Dude.
Medea's my home, dude.
It's his home.
Cleaning out the snake filth and just
literally remove Medea, Node Wars, and Siege, and then you can have a random fucking war in the middle of the week where the Calpheon Siege winner and the fucking Valencia Siege winner siege over fucking Medea. You can do it like that. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, just start throwing fucking ideas out there, dude. It's so boring.
What was I gonna say? Shit, hang on. I did have something. Give me a sec.
Yeah, I just think it's like I can only look at it from like my point of view, and my point of view, it's like it's so hard to get into the siege scene. Honestly, it's such a pain in the ass because let's say you're a fucking like T2 guild, you have like fucking 60, 70 members. You think, hey, we'll drop Balanos for the memes just because it's a fun thing to do, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in a 1v1 versus fucking Barcode. Like, no. Like, that really turns you off of Siege. You're like, I never want to Siege again. If this is what Siege is like, fuck this.
So you're thinking of like tiering the regions a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, but that would be good. But I also think, you know, the thought of being in a Siege guild and like going for that Siege guild, like, yeah, we have people that apply. They're like, you know, I've been trying to get to you guys for a long time or whatever, right? I'm sure every guild does that's in Siege, right? You do have that. But it used to be more, you know, more frequent. There's a lot of people like, yo, my goal is to get to the Siege guild. Now it's But at the same time, what's this shit? Hang on. You can place a fort in Calpheon, right, with 5 minutes to spare, okay, before cutoff. I can place my Siege fort. I can have someone in Valencia one channel. I can be in comms with them. We got 2 minutes left. I rip my Calpheon fort. They place in Valencia. Done. We're locked into Valencia. I do not agree that people can flip and rotate forts 2 minutes before cutoff or whatever. I think that's such a joke. You used to have to send workers to build these things. Now I don't know if that's the best thing, but the same. But at the same time, again, it's a guild thing, right? You got more people doing stuff. They should implement something where I don't think you should be able to just snipe regions or anything like that. I think you should you have to put work in. And if you get locked in there, then so be it. You know, like it's because it's allowing people to dodge. It's allowing people to also, what do you call it? Basically switch, you know, reinforce certain regions. So right now, and this actually probably sounds like I'm complaining about it, to be honest. But right now, just say you've got Snake in Valencia, you've got Cho Nation in Calpheon, okay? Just say they're friendly. And they've got, we'll say Vexus, all right? And they've got Vexus in Valencia with Snake, and they've got Vertex in Calpheon with Cho. And then they've got, you know, we'll just say Corrupt on standby to reinforce whichever region, you know, just say us and Barcode and Filter drop on, right? They've got Corrupt on standby, and they can drop on whichever one of those regions sees us, like the forts go up, they can drop it in the last 2 minutes and reinforce it, boom, done. I don't agree with that shit. I feel like you should go, okay, we're going to try and go for this. We're going to, you know, sure, you bring your allies, bring your allies to that region and you place the forts and people can see you place the forts. But the fact that you can rip up 5 minutes or 2 minutes before the cutoff and then replace in another region is bullshit. There should be like a time where if you place the fort, maybe it takes an hour to auto build. So if it doesn't get built within that hour, maybe you're fucked or something like that, right? There's got to be something where this sniping shit's gone. I think it's a joke as well.
Yeah, the sniping thing.
I think they just need to reduce the amount of nodes. Honestly, like that.
Reducing amount of nodes would definitely help. What
yeah,
about
that alone I think would solve a lot of issues, at least partially.
and you already have a like we have the sign up sheet, right? You have to yes up for everything. Would it not be too crazy to like just add days to that interface and then you have to have your guild like maybe 1 day or 2 days ahead of time. So your guild has to actually have 50 people go to that channel and yes up like before the cutoff or you can't place at all. You know what I mean? Because like these guilds that only have like 50 people and only 10 of them are even active, they would never be able to play snipe forts if they
Yeah.
didn't have people
Isn't
yes
that
up
wait,
prior.
Isn't that how it was originally, and then they changed it because it was annoying as fuck?
I can't
Or am I
remember.
misremembering?
No, it was something like that. I can't remember, but I'm just trying to think of something to like not because the snipe forts are such a problem. Because I'll say in Vexus, like while admittedly like Vexus doesn't seem, at least from my point of view, I'm not an officer or deal with any politics in Vexus whatsoever. So from my point of view, it doesn't seem like they're really that try hard as far as fights on siege days. But on Node Wars, they'll like legitimately look for like, oh, there's 4 forts placed here, and they'll place, and then we go there, and it's actually 3 snipes. Like every single one of those other forts is a snipe.
Yeah, it's 3 OTGs.
It's 3 OTGs.
Yeah, the 3 OTGs. Yeah, and that right there is BS. Dude. Like what? That you think you're dropping into a fight? No, you're not. I hate that. That's still a gamble. That's ridiculous. I just need to go bathroom real quick. I'll be like 1 minute.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, maybe there needs
I
to be
really
like.
think just reducing the amount of nodes.
Yeah,
I really
I
think
agree.
That
I 100%
has to be
agree.
step before anything else happens. That's the first thing that needs to happen. They need to cut the amount of nodes. You cut tier 4s by like fucking 50%. You cut tier 3s by like a solid like 40.
Yeah.
Cut tier 2s by like maybe 25, 30.
Yeah, I even think tier 1s honestly a little bit.
But nobody's
not as
sniping
much.
tier 1s, right?
I mean, they definitely are. They definitely are.
I mean, when we did T1s for a week, like we had, I mean, granted, we were actively looking for fights because
Right.
we were just there to meme around. But the lowest amount of guilds we found on a T1 was like fucking 3,
Right.
which is like not bad. I
See,
mean, you do tier 2s and you're like, oh my god, there's 3 guilds on this node. Drop immediately. Like,
right.
it's like holy shit.
The reason I don't like the idea of just dropping Medaya entirely for Node War is just because some of those Medaya war zones are fun. Like I always loved the Sausins wars, like around that area.
I only mention it because they mentioned something. Remember when they were gonna do that? What was it called?
The territory wars.
Yeah, the territory wars, and they were talking about dropping Medaya, and it was gonna be Valencia versus Calpheon, and then like it was just like implemented really poorly, and like I don't know, it just wouldn't have made any sense the way they were trying to do it. But then they just like instead of trying to like make it work, they just like scrapped it. They're like, yeah, fuck it. The first iteration of it doesn't work. Fuck it. Throw the whole thing out. Like the idea wasn't bad. Like the idea of like, hey, what if we had like this giant war between the two like castle owners or whatever? Or it wasn't the castle owners. It was like every guild that owned the nodes in those regions, wasn't it? But
yeah, dude, you know one thing they could do too is have like, I don't know, not event, but like have a node every day on a different tier. So one, I always felt like they should tier lock nodes. Like if you own a tier 2, right now you can't place on a tier 1. That makes complete sense. I honestly feel if you own a tier 3, you shouldn't be able to place on a tier 2. If you own a tier 4, you shouldn't be able to place on tier 3 or tier 2. Like
yeah,
so
get
on and so
Blackrose
forth.
off my fucking tier 2s. I'm tired of fighting.
But the other thing is like, I mean, what they should have like same way they do like daily events and like drop rate buffs, they should have a hey, this Tuesday, this node at Stonetail Ranch is going to be worth 5 times the payout. So many people would place. You know what I mean?
So
if it
many
was like
siege guilds would place.
yeah, but that, I mean, the siege guilds aren't getting fights either. I mean, but they could also do the same thing for like a T2 or a T1, you know, like on a T1 node, like, hey, this node
you're
on
saying
a T1
in combination with the lockout.
Yeah, in combination with the lockout.
Yeah, that could be a fun thing
That
to
would
do.
that would be cool because if they had like a tier 4, let's just say Elric Shrine on like a Thursday, that's like a tier 400 man, and it was like Thursday, January blank 2020, this Elric Shrine node is going to pay out 12 billion silver. There would be a lot more guilds placed there, and it would be like
Yeah.
super
Sure,
fun.
for sure.
I'm just memeing with you, Sacha. Don't deck on Clash, please.
I'm already. Hang on. How do I spell that?
It's
Dude,
it's
we-
spelled
we-
it's spelled SNAKE.
Hey.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
After we dropped on a node for fun. It was a night that we don't usually war, if I remember correctly. It had 2 other forts on it. Both of them were snipes, of course. So we were like, oh fuck, what are we gonna do now? We were in the desert. We said, fuck it, let's swap to Arsha and go raid either Akhman or Histria, whatever portal we can find first. So we run into Histria with legitimately like 20 people in a platoon and just start killing everybody. And we ran into a bunch of Cho. They started bringing more people. We ran into like Joe Never Fails or his Panoy. I'm not sure which one it was. And yeah, just duked it out for a while. And then we went to Akhman because Joe brought so many people. Cho Nation literally brought like more and more people. They were compassing in people. It is insane. They brought so many people. We were like, okay, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Is Joe in Cho Nation now?
Blackrose.
Oh, Blackrose, okay.
Yeah. And so we went to Akhman instead, and one of the first people we run across is Choice, who's streaming, and he's so confused when he sees us running through. He's like, what are all these people doing here? Oh my god, that shit was hilarious.
I remember that. I remember hearing it.
Yeah. And then it fucking, for some random reason, so it's like 20 Clash fighting some Blackrose people and some other random people that just showed up, like Laven was there. And then Snake is just like, you know what? Let's just ruin the whole party. And then they just start compassing in people. All of a sudden, there's 20 Snake running around, just killing literally everybody. And so we're like, oh Jesus, get us the fuck out of here. This is cancer.
Right. Yeah. Another thing, because I actually kind of like how they did the your auto decked against the other castle holders. I think that's a cool thing that they did.
Agreed.
I would love if they took it kind of a step further. You know that screen that you see when like reset happens that kind of shows your daily rewards and all that stuff? It would be kind of cool if it showed the war scores starting from that weekend's past siege forward on everyone's thing. Like if it showed how many kills like Snake has against Blackrose and corrupt like to the whole server instead of just in your guild page. Like some sort of leaderboard for those fucking things. Something so it's like maybe more drama kind of ensues out of it.
Maybe they get it.
This
Yep.
is going to be off topic, but kind of like tangentially related. I've always wanted a bounty system in this game where you can say like, I will pay 100 fucking mil if you kill this player like fucking 50 times or some shit. I think that would result in so much drama and so much PvP. That would be pretty
yes,
cool.
it would,
Obviously easily abusable, but the amount of drama that would come out of it, oh my god, could you imagine?
All right, I got it. Rezlar, I'll give you $50. You go flag up on Arsha Sulfur Mines right now. Find Sasha.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I'm long gone, dude. I got my map. We good. We good. Thank God.
All right.
Using those J strolls.
All right, so let's move on a little bit. So we do this thing. We ask the people in the Discord, the Value Pack Podcast Discord, if they have any questions for upcoming guests. So I'm going to read through some of these questions, and then feel free to answer them, Sasha. If you have a good answer or not, whatever, we'll take whatever we can get. So HarryBoy3000 says, few questions from EU. What's the guild class composition? I think he's talking about Blackrose. What's the guild class composition? Which classes do you have the most of and which the least? And how do you decide who comes into the guild? Is it only on skills or class, guild needs, etc.? And is there a minimum gear score to join? He says, I see a lot of resentment towards Blackrose around YouTube, and some of that was highlighted in the recent Shaky Bay videos when it seems that killing Blackrose members is a personal achievement, being geared is a bad thing. Why is that? Keep on yelling, big guy. So yes, how do you recruit, basically?
First of all, Shaky Bay's videos.
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me, dude.
It's got a lot of viewers.
Yeah. He can view both up. So basically, those clips, like, first of all, Succession moves to grats. You can finally kill people, right? Second of all, when you highlight just the kills and you forget all the deaths that you've had, it kills me. There was a point the other day when they were 3D1ing one of my under-geared witches. And I'm talking like, 281, 316, whatever, right? 3v1 in them. And all the kills were from him, and he clipped that. And so I screenshotted the other half of the kills. And it was the other two guys there as well, dying to the witch. And then two of my boys went out and mashed a 3v3, and they clapped their cheeks. So when I see all these videos and shit, dude, I can't. I actually just, it's fucking hilarious. Anyway. Recruitment, we PvP test, we do 1v1s, and then we go into like group PvP tests as well. There probably is a higher skill level for people outside of WizWitch, to be honest, although you want WizWitch to still know how to PA and heal, right?
Right.
But some of our PvP tests go for hours, which I don't know if that's a good thing. That means we're probably really pushing the person and seeing what they can do, and a bit iffy, a bit umming and ahhing. But recruitment was 281, 316, but we were up in the DP to like 324 or something, which still isn't that high, I think, at the moment. But I think you've got to be open to skilled players, especially with Succession out right now, right? Like a lot of lower geared players can one-shot you or two-shot you or whatnot. Doesn't matter what your DP is. In terms of composition, shit. Let me have a look here.
Yeah, you guys have never been super like, we're 70 WizWitch, as far as I know. Anyway.
Nah, we have like 30-something, maybe. WizWitch. We have a lot of like undesirable classes.
Are you accepting Kunos again? Because I remember there was a time that Kunos, we were getting treated not so good.
Do you mean like the reroll Kunos? Is that the ones you mean? Yeah. Are we going to get into that? You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, Sasha. Listen, you guys kicked Frosty because he rerolled Kuno, right? But you should have gotten to know him a little bit better, because then you would have realized that literally a week after you kicked him, he rerolled back anyway.
Hey, I've been sticking on Kuno, man. Succession Kuno's OP.
Oh, I know. It looks, the guys are saying it's super fun. But to give you an idea, our guild at the moment, so we don't just tell people to reroll, and we don't just tell people to, we don't just like recruit, the meta classes. We have at the moment, to give you an idea, oh God, it makes me a little bit upset. 5 Dark Knights, all right? 7 Strikers.
Right.
And out of the 5 Dark Knights, 2 of them are over 305 AP, just to give you an idea, right? I'm hoping Succession's really strong.
Right.
And as for the Strikers, some of the gears, most of the gear is nuts. So I'm really hoping Succession comes out for those 2 classes, and somehow it's not Zerker Succession, and it's really, really powerful. And I feel like the guild will get a bump there. But that's just an idea of us. We're not removing, people just because of their class now. But we do have undesirable classes. Whereas a lot of other guilds, I'll tell you right now, Snake Cho, how many DKs do you think Snake and Cho have?
I know My Name is Q is now in Galaxy, so that should tell you something.
I think you've got Cassidy and Cho, and I think you've got Virgin Soft and Snake, maybe. That's like 1 each, and I don't even think Virgin Soft or V-Soft brings the DK to Siege, right?
Right.
It's like 1 each, we have 5. Strikers, how many Strikers are in those guilds?
Yeah.
I don't think I see any Strikers in Cho. We have 7. And then you look at Snake, I think Divios, maybe Tripex has been there now again. So 1, maybe 2. Again, we have 7. So,
Do you guys? How do you guys feel about Succession Ranger?
that descending current bug needs to be fixed, which it is. Thank God. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that it's more viable. To be honest, Ranger's been pretty in large scale for a long time.
Right.
I think the damage is insane, but you can also counter it pretty easily if you have people to focus them, right?
Yeah.
If you leave them unchecked, you're in a lot of trouble.
Cool. All right, next we'll move on here. Next question. Pastor Pete says, "Hey, Big Sasha, been a fan of yours since I started following the BDO community. Your passion for the game has always been a delight. Feels like your attitude towards the game and PvP has kind of taken a turn since Vertex died. From my perspective, it seems like you used to have more fun while calling. Do you agree with that, or do you think just the rest of the community is treating you differently?"
Pretty sure he's in Bassy. He shit talks a lot, but I'm just I could be wrong.
No, he is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about
Yeah.
the shit talking. I know he's
Okay.
a
Oh yeah, I definitely know about it. Yeah. I've definitely noticed. Like, I have fun shot calling, right? I think I'm at a point in the game where if I have to tell you to do something really basic, I'm beyond mauled. There's 5 Wizwitch next to me. Just an example. I don't even know what it is. Just say there's a Valkyrie ulting right there. What would you do? I'm on the ground. Your shot caller's on the ground. What would you do? You're a Wizwitch. There's a Valkyrie ulting all of you. None of you have, and you're all witches. You got no grabs. What would you do?
Right. Probably PA.
You're PA, dude. Holy shit. PA, save our lives. We're good. Or I'm getting damage on the ground next to you. You're a witch. You can't grab the guy. You can't do anything to him right now. He's super armored. What would you do?
PA.
You get PA or you just heal me. Just freaking heal me.
Yeah.
These kids, they start throwing magic missiles and shit trying to damage the guy. Dude, he's permanently iframe. You're not going to touch this kid. Just give me a heal. That's all I ask. So sometimes when I have to call out for that sort of stuff, you'll know if you ever watch me stream, we ever watch one of my VODs, whatever, or one of the fights, you'll hear me mauled and get angry. When I die, you'll see the kill feed, you'll see me die, and that's when you'll see me lose my shit. So it's like the basic stuff. But I also think there is other stuff. I had some IRL stuff going on, and I noticed it affecting, basically making me not just I automatically yell. I've always been competitive, right? In not that yelling's to do with competitiveness, but in footy and stuff like rugby, when I used to play it, we'd yell and we'd G each other up. And when I'm playing these games, people have to understand that shot callers are also trying to play the game, right? You're trying to do what you can whilst watching the minimap, whilst watching the other guilds, whatever little cues that they might be pushing or whatever. It's pretty frustrating, right? It does get really frustrating. And I've also noticed I get a little more tilted lately because I used to be able to do well and shot call. Now I can't. I don't do well at all. I'm better off in observe mode, dead, because everyone just one shots me, right? And I've got 331 DP. It's not amazing, but I get one shot all the time. Right. So I think with some of the game's changes, maybe I could sound a little bit angrier, but there's lots of contributing factors. Sometimes I'm loud and I'm aggressive, but I throw little jokes in or little, this and that. And a lot of the guys catch it. But if you're a viewer and you don't really know me and you don't really know my shot calling, I see people's comments, right? That, oh my God, if I was in that guild, I would not be in that guild. I would become that guild. And you're like, you're a pussy. You're a pussy. You're a fairy. That's why you're not here. But I don't think it's got to do with the guilds in the game against us. I think it's just got to do with a lot of other things. And, like I said, where we are in the game, me dying, basic stuff I shouldn't have to say. There's lots of contributing factors to when I sound mad.
iTech says, how do you keep your guild in line so well during wars? It's really a joy to watch how everyone does exactly what they're supposed to do.
I can't tell if he's trolling, dude.
He's been
Oh my
serious.
God.
I mean, you got to think. It's funny because I always said this like after because I was in just T2, T1 guilds for so long, where it feels like no one's ever listening, and you're like, man, look how these siege guilds do it. And then when I was in Blackrose, it was kind of my first time in a legitimate siege guild, and I was like, all right, dude, there are people that are not listening to the calls in these guilds just as much as every other fucking guild, but they're still like better players that can like handle themselves, even if they don't, on average.
Right.
So it still looks better, even from the outside. So I think that's kind of the perspective a little bit.
I think I'll put it this way. I think again, Witch Ball, super easy to control. You walk around together, you spam AoEs, you heal. You walk around together, you spam AoEs, you heal. I think our composition's pretty hard to work together because lots of people have different roles. Lots of people can't be in the ball, right? They've got to be out in a certain point, or there's lots of different things to cover. But for the most part, I yell at them and I say this and that. I call people out, which I just don't care. Like if I have to call you out, whatever. If you're in the right, maybe you just V'd, right? And like I've had people message me, Sarge, you called me out today and I was just coming out of V, I swear. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Relax. I'm not going to kick you. I'm calling what I see, right? And it also kicks other people into gear. So I often like, you guys are like fucking acting like garbage. You're not moving well, this and that. And then I'll watch the enemy's point of view, right? Or someone that's watching the fight's point of view, a spectator, some sort of spectator, and we look super organized and like we're moving really well and it looks awesome. But I feel like a lot of me kicking their ass all the time is a reason for that, right?
Right.
And we've had practice. So like if you ever look at the siege we had on the weekend in Media, my guys like knew exactly where to go in Media Castle. They was like within seconds of coming out of V or whatever. They were in positions, this and that. Like a lot of good shot callers in this game will practice with their guild and tell them what they want them to do in certain situations, right? Mm-hmm. In general. And I think practicing or just talking to people and keeping an eye on your guys and helping them out if they ask for it and whatnot, which is what we do as well, really makes the shot calling, I'll say, seem stronger or look like the guild's staying together a bit more and in unison because you work with individuals and you actually help people. If you just go, yo, you shit, get it out, like blah, blah, well, that's going to be a problem. But a lot of it's just organization and having everybody know their role, right? That makes them sort of understand.
This is a side question just coming from me because since you mentioned shot calling, do you have any? Are there any shot callers that you've heard or seen or drew inspiration from, or that you liked, like as you were learning shot calling, or even today? Are there any shot callers that you know of that you're like, this dude's a good shot caller, or chick, or whatever?
Like as I was becoming a shot caller,
well,
or like
even just in general, yeah. Are there any shot callers that you respect? Like, oh, this dude knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, Oakley's in my guild. I like Oakley's shot calling. I'll give my guys props first. Miz is coming up. He was never a shot caller, but for the most part, I can trust what they say. You know what I mean? I'm not going to question it myself. I'm just going to go with it. Mm-hmm. Norelio, I enjoy watching their VODs and I hear the shot calling, right? The problem is, dude, a lot of shot callers don't stream comms, right? So it is quite difficult. I'd say, yeah, those three. I've heard one of Cho's shot callers. I thought he was really good as well. Just very different, so more calm and just. But I mean, you're in a Witch Ball, you can be more calm. Just very, I don't even know the word. Just very like, it's like a routine, right? It's just all a process, standard shit, but it works well. The ones I know, I mean, I thought Tim, everyone's going to, laugh at this. A lot of people give Tim shit, but I think for a lot of the basic stuff and just knowing, push, pull, this and that, Tim's Tim's pretty on point with that, but I can't. I mean, you'd have to throw some others out.
What about back in the day, Vudani? I know everyone knows Vudani shot calling, the ASMR style. Have you heard?
Honestly, okay. I don't want it to sound biased. That's all. I really don't. It's like I would give him props if I thought he. Okay. Again, I thought it was very basic shot calling, just knowing when to PA, push,
Right.
This and that. Didn't think it was anything special.
Do you remember Proto from back in the day? Because he's one of the names that comes up when people talk about shot callers, that he used to be really good. Did you ever hear Proto from FML?
Never heard his shot calling. Never heard his shot calling.
Okay.
What about the greatest shot caller that ever lived, Lakari? What do you think about him?
Okay, bro.
Dude, Rezlar legit loves him. His shot calling.
His shot
Big
calling
damage on
cracked
my
me
ping.
up, dude.
Big damage
Yeah.
on my ping.
Well, like the thing here's what I always say about Lakari. Like at the time, like he didn't need to be like super good. Like Man Up was so strong and they were such fucking apes. All he needed to do was point them in a general direction and they would take care of everything else.
At which time?
Whenever they were at their peak.
Okay, because one of their peaks, I remember hearing that he was like not like he was pretending to shot call. Was that true or not? And I heard it was the brothers that were shot calling.
Oh, that was like I think that was like right after the gravity merge.
Let me tell you how strong they were, bro. Let me tell you. So we dropped on Valencia with Vertex one day, right? And a little guild called Force. I don't know if you remember Force.
Yeah, Force.
Yeah, they dropped, and Man Up dropped with like 5 other guilds, and our job was to hold Man Up. Yay! So Vertex is running around all these other guilds, knocking these other guilds out as fast as they can. We lasted like 30 something minutes against Man Up. Do you know why?
No.
Complete apes, dude. These guys were so geared, they had no idea on siege mechanics. We were stuck in our base with the big wooden fences, right? They were beating on the fences with their weapons. That's why we lived so long. We were like, what? Are these guys fucking with us? Like, surely they're trying. But they finally, I think they finally, within like the 30-minute mark, brought an elephant, or maybe they just beat the fence down and they got in. But they were just wiping us over and over, and we couldn't do anything. And Vertex, I think they just failed to bring the last guy down, which was notorious at the time. These kids, dude, they were monsters, but they were stupid. They were so dumb. Oh, it killed me, dude. The gear was nuts. It's just nuts. Beating on a fence like bloody. Oh my God.
Gudendrunk says, how does Sasha's shot calling compare to Razor Ollie in Australianness and positive reinforcement? I feel like Rezlar is the only one that could probably answer that. Have you heard Ollie's shot calling, Rez?
Oh yeah. they're very similar. Ollie is the GM of Blade and Arrow, Sasha, if you know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, he's also an Aussie, and he is just as positive and upbeat as you are in your best moments. So really just hey guys, you're doing a great job. I just if we could change this one little thing, if you feel like it, then that would be great. Something along those lines or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a friend that he just joined Blade and Arrow like within the last 3 weeks, right? And they were node warring. They actually got pretty strong recently because they had these small merges or whatever. So they have a lot of people in their guild now. I think they're 100 of 100. And he goes, it was his first time in the comms with Ollie, and he's like, "Look, man, I'm not gonna say he's probably a really good shot caller. I can't be called faggot that many times."
Whoa!
I know. I was like, "Oh God, oh no."
Yeah, I remember. I think it was I can't remember. We had some people merc for him. God, I wish I had been there this night. They said, "Dude, Ollie got so pissed off at everyone that he went on a 5-minute rant about how his guild was fucking him in the ass with no lube right now because that's how bad they were playing.
Yeah, okay. So he's very upbeat. Okay,
He's very
cool. I'll have to
upbeat, very
read this guy.
positive. Positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
He's a big.
Positive reinforcement.
He
I've
told.
learned to control myself a little bit because I know there's many streamers, including myself now, right? I have to control myself
Right.
a little bit.
We had Ollie on for a while. He said that he drew great inspiration from me. He also lives in Australia.
Oh, cool. Do you know where? Like what
I
state?
forget where. Do you remember? Rez?
I have never asked him, no.
Yeah, I can't remember. Zero says, "Are there any guilds currently you would like to see in the siege scene who haven't made the jump? And are there any guilds currently in the siege scene you would like to see gone?"
Wow.
Feel free to start as much drama as you like.
Yeah.
Shit. Siege guilds coming up. This is okay. I'm glad Legatum's getting back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Challenger switched to FML, so hopefully they're going to be sieging more. Aftershock, I mean, I don't know how many members Aftershock has, but the fact that Tim's getting into siege, it has been for a few weeks, great. It's really hard to, call out guilds I'd like to see in it because I actually don't know them, man. Like, I know a lot of node guilds, and I think, again, this just relates back to people wanting to be in like a smaller guild. They're really strong. They're really geared. If we drop 30 versus 30 in a 30v30 node against them, they can do really well because they match our gear, right? But 100-man, they can't do shit. So address the merc system, make it more encouraging for people to actually be part of siege guilds, and I can answer that another time. But right now, it's super hard. In terms of guilds, I think should not be in the siege. Okay. Hang on, read that last part again.
He says, what top 10 he says, are there any guilds currently in the siege scene you would like to see gone?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a totally fair answer. Roro says, "Hey bossman, Ro here. I'm considering re-rolling to Zerker. Any tips on Zerker? Any tips on Succession Zerker? Follow-up question, what top 10 siege guild dies the fastest in a 1v1 with Blackrose?"
Oh my.
And then he asked thoughts on Shy Bubble, but we talked about that a little bit earlier. He hates the Shy Bubble.
Yeah, he's not wrong. If he is Succession Zerker, which there's no way he isn't. My question would be, what guild are you joining? No, he's been really cool, bro. In terms of, I don't even know what's the top 10. I can't answer it until I see the rankings.
I mean, top 10 is including either Challenger, Legatum, or Aftershock. So I'm assuming it would be that one.
One of those.
Right.
One of those. I'd probably say Aftershock.
Noel calling Tim out.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's just facts. Unless they have, all snake mercs or tro mercs. I don't know.
I was trying to remember this earlier and I couldn't remember. Who was the other guild that was Barcode's bitch guild back in the day? It was Legatum and another guild.
Flux.
No. No, it wasn't Flux. It started with an I. And them and Legatum double dropped everywhere. I swear to God, it started with an I. I swear on my life.
We fought against that. Well, when I was GM of Hex, we fought against Barcode a few times, and they always had Legatum and Flux with them.
I know Flux was also a bitch. Wow.
Rush? Or one of those guilds?
I don't know. I was trying to remember. Because I remember we had to fight them in Valencia one time on the Crescent node.
Started with an I?
Yeah, I can't think of a guild.
I swear to God it started with an I. I swear on my life, dude. I was trying to remember it earlier and I gave up. I actually couldn't remember.
Ingenium?
No, not don't talk about Laven like that.
Hey, dude. I don't know, dude. Was Laven a bitch guild for Barcode? I don't know. Let me look at the rank. I'm gonna search I in the guild rank thing.
Oh no, we'll be here for hours.
We'll be here forever, dude. We got this.
Was it Insomnia?
Ooh. I don't know. I know that guild though.
I know that's a guild. I can't remember if that's the right one or not. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on. Is there more guest questions or is that it?
Nope. There's one more. Hey Sasha, from this is from I don't know how to pronounce this, but say Sai. She says, "Hey Sasha, I'm curious. I see you are always full of fire and pushing your members, but what keeps you going after all this time and never letting up? Follow up, how do you go about fostering new members, improving and keeping morale, along with forming loyalty to Blackrose, or do most of them come in fairly well off on their own?" So how do you stay positive after all this time, never giving up or letting up, and then how do you get people to like actually become loyal and stay in Blackrose and positive?
So staying positive. Well, I enjoy the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to play the game. And I think I have, for the most part, a good leadership team. And also, like, some good old school members here still that, like, also help us staying positive, right? I'm also not one to just bitch out and quit, right? So when all these guilds are like, you fucking blah, 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 like, actually sit down. You're garbage. You know what I mean? You're probably an incel at the end of the day. Like, there's many things I can go on with, you know, personal insults to these kids, but, you know, we're here to have fun. We're here to progress. Other guilds want to target us. Like, that's kind of a compliment, right? The fact that they bring so many guilds, the fact that they want our guild dead. Like, I'm not going to let my guild die. I think that's hilarious. You know, I have a job, obviously. I do all the IRL stuff, and then I also play this game. And having people want to get rid of you, to me, is the biggest card to say, fuck you, right? And a lot of my guild says, fuck you. You know, I feel like these guilds almost push my guild to being more positive as well. Like, them just, you know, trying to push us down, trying to get rid of us, like, almost solidifies people in the guild. Honestly. And we have people that leave. We have people that are also really loyal that come in, right? It's taken a long time. Remember, we've been around for years, so getting that loyalty and stuff has taken a long time. And I think the direction we sort of chose to take in terms of PvP, in terms of having fun, in terms of, like, always progressing, in terms of challenging ourselves, we get like-minded people in here and they love it. Like, they love it. We just had a guy come in the other day. He's like, I don't get any PvP. I'm pretty sure this game is like, there's nothing here. Like, I see you guys having fun. I see you guys always, like, basically center of attention. As bad as that sounds, as arrogant as that sounds, that's how it feels, right?
Right.
And he came in. He's been here for a week. He's like, man, this is awesome. I'm having a blast. Like, this is crazy. Like, there's GVGs every day. Like I said, yeah, dude. Like, this is what we do. It's another level. So it's not just me. It's the team I have in the guild. It's the other players that, you know, a lot of the guys are really welcoming, especially if you get in Discord, right? You get in Discord with any guild, you're going to meet people. You're going to, you know, get along with people. You're going to have fun. A lot of people see me on stream, or, you know, I'll just say the shot calling. Before I started streaming, a lot of people thought, like, holy shit, I'd never join Blackrose. Like, that guy's crazy, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get abused. How do they do it? But, like, you speak to me in Discord, chilling out. Like, I'm just like everyone else, you know. I have fun with the boys. So a lot of it is just, we're not pussies, to be honest, dude, for the most part.
Rezlar, was the guild you were thinking of Illuminati?
Yes,
Okay.
it was. Thank you.
They were
That was
barcodes.
them, right? Them and Legatum dropped everywhere together, and then on Saturdays they were like, "All right, Daddy Barcode, where are we going?"
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I remember, like, way back in the day, Illuminati was strong, but I was not. I was, like, just starting out the game, so.
They were a man up guild at first, like a man up-ish guild.
All right. Let's move on to some greener pastures real quick. Rifle through these, so let's try to be done before Garmoth spawns. So Zerker Succession, Rezlar, and Sacha. How's you want to lead us in here, Rezlar? How's Zerker Succession?
Well, I haven't played it because I'm an archer, but from what I've heard, it's quite possibly the worst thing they've ever done in this game. So that's a thing.
The worst thing they've ever done. No, Zerker is the worst thing they've ever done.
Yeah. I'll give you a little insight from shot calling perspective.
All right.
I don't know the other day, and I say, "All right, Q buffs out. Nothing happens." I say, this is the day of Succession release for Zerker. This is a problem. How many Zerkers here, X up in guild chat, have Succession? Boop, 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 boop. Okay. And how many do not have Succession on, have the Awakened right now? Boop. Cool. So out of like the 5 or 6 Zerkers, everyone had Succession except one. They all were terrible. They all went negative. And the one guy with Awakened did really well. Now, my thing with Succession is I think all Successions need time, obviously, weeks, months to get good at it. Right. But from what I hear is, like, Ranger again, PA ball, Succession, right? No, Ranger didn't yet. Choice said to me himself, he's like, he went negative for the first time ever in a war. But at the same time, he was like, oh my God, I know how it feels to be a striker now. This is why they don't do that well. They dive into a ball and die. And I'm like, yeah, dude. So it's pretty garbage, to be honest.
Hey, I feel like Mystic does that too. They don't like to dive into a ball and die these days. Remember when Mystic was on top?
For a good vacuum.
Remember in the good old days when you could be 297 DP Mystic and take on an entire guild? I miss those days.
Bring those days back. Wait, no, don't.
Yeah, so Zerker Succession, everyone's pretty unhappy, but I think they said they're going to rework it. So, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
It still came out before DK?
Yeah, it still came out before DK, dude. DKs are so pissed. Oh, my God. I don't know if, for Sasha's sake, I don't think DK is going to be that good. I think for, 1v1 and, 3v3s and stuff like that, it'll be good. I don't know on large scale. I've been watching a lot of DK.
I disagree.
You think it'll be good for large scale?
It's going to be the most broken Succession in the game.
Why is that?
That's what I'm hoping for. Sorry. That's what I'm hoping for, dude. I'll be honest. I know we don't tell people to re-roll, but I was like, dudes, maybe it's time if it's bad. Maybe. Just maybe. Maybe look at something else. Maybe make some other weapons. Just have a look.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna re-roll Succession Zerker, dude.
What do you think? I mean, what do you think, Sacha, that they're gonna do? Because I'm pretty sure we're gonna find out next week on Global Labs what Wiz Witch is. What do you think they're gonna do? What are you hoping they're gonna do? Because that one's affects the siege scene so much.
It does. I'm hoping Protected Area is ripped out of everything. Awakened and Succession, which is not going to happen. But in terms of Succession, I think obviously the ranged abilities are just going to be super strong. Maybe Earthquake and stuff are a little more damage for close combat sort of stuff. But my thing with Successions is most people are looking at these Successions in terms of what their class can do by itself. Mm-hmm. No one's really looking at it. Okay, if we combine this Succession class in the ball with this class going Awakened or some other class of Succession, what they can do is a combination or a different composition. So I'm really interested to see how effective it is at ranged or whatnot, and how we can integrate it with everything else, right? So that's one big thing I see people not doing is looking at the bigger picture, the bigger ball fights, this and that.
So wait, you are a fan of removing PA?
Get PA the fuck out of here, or turn it into a whale tendon. A whale tendon, right?
Right.
It shouldn't be. It's just ridiculous, dude. It's just too strong.
That's interesting. I think, I don't know, Succession's great, because some of the Succession's really crazy in large scale, Ranger, and I think Sork has potential to be really good as just a straight up ball class instead of harass and flank.
Succession Sork is fucking nutty.
Yeah, does a lot of
Like,
damage.
for those of you who don't know, Clash is about 40% Sorks, and almost all of them are Succession, and holy shit. It is dumb what they do now.
See, I was gonna roll back, but I just can't with there being so many out there, you know?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. All right, so wizard buffs. I know, Sasha, you don't play wizard, but there's probably a decent number of wizards in your guild. I'm willing to guess there's a decent number of witches in your guild who would play wizard if it wasn't much shittier than witch, that are probably excited about these wizard buffs.
Yeah, you're spot on.
Yeah, I saw Jackie Felix's video. Dude, that cataclysm range on the wizard is insane now. It's so big.
Yeah, basically, I don't. For me, the fact that people felt the need that like they had to roll off wizard to witch to be more efficient and viable in siege is kind of sad, right? Like that sucks.
Yeah.
But it sucks in all aspects of the classes. But I'm super happy they're getting a bit of a buff. Some people are pretty skeptical about it, saying it's not going to be that big. I'm hoping it's really good for them, and they, the guys that are wizards normally can roll back, or the ones that are still wizards, their performance is increased and they feel a bit happy with the class. So I'm super happy with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that I really think the initial Aquagil now does down attack damage and adds a move speed debuff, but I really think after the initial like double TP cataclysm that wizards are actually gonna get kills semi safely with Aquagil, because it also has the evasion debuff, and now it does damage. So yeah, we'll see. And then frontal guard on Hellfire, which is Rezlar. That's why you rolled off wizard, right? Because they took that off.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be honest, man, these buffs hit. If they're actually big enough, like, I will be tempted. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Hellfire is my favorite ability in this game.
Yeah.
And now that I can actually use it again, are you shitting me?
Did you see Jackie Felix's video, Rezlar?
I did not.
So in the video, he shows if you hold Hellfire, you can actually hold it long enough for the cooldown to reset and cast it twice back to back, which is kind of cool.
Interesting.
If you
I'm
want
assuming it's forward guard while you're charging it.
Forward guard while charging and while moving. The whole attack is forward guard.
Nice. Is it still as slow as it used to be, or is it faster?
That I don't know, because I so rarely see Hellfire. I've only seen the buffed Hellfire. No one uses Hellfire anymore, so I don't know.
This is what I was going to show you guys. Hold on. So while we were on the topic of successions, apparently the Archer Succession costume got leaked. And yeah, take a look at this fucking monstrosity.
Wait, so they are getting a succession?
This is apparently the outfit.
Wow, that looks really good.
Let me pull this.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
looking like an 1800s British soldier.
Wow, dude.
It's not horrible.
Dude, that's so bad. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, I'd have to see it in action with the bow. That would maybe...
It won't have it, though. It's Succession. It's a crossbow.
It's kind of like...
it's a bow, yeah.
Robin Hood.
It's so bad.
There's no Little John. Where's Little John? Hang on a second.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely worse costumes out there, dude. I don't know. Sasha, you think a bunch of people are going to re-roll the Guardian in your guild?
I'm re-rolling, dude.
Are you?
Fuck yeah. Okay. I've got some weapons, this and that, and I'll play it. And I want to see what the Awakened is this week, right? I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I need something, dude. Witches. Like I said, I'm dead most of the time anyway, so does it fucking matter what class I play?
Yeah. True.
That's why you just roll full DP shy, dude.
I mean, the polearm thing and the fact that it's like this holy fire, I imagine it's going to have some heals and protection. So.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. That'd be cool.
I hope not.
I mean, it probably won't have group heals, but maybe self heals.
What if it's like it's like a stripper? What's it called?
Did you just say a stripper?
Not as well.
I guess
he did.
Like
he snuck that in. A stripper.
I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
What's it called when you can like strip spells? Is dispelling someone? I can't.
Oh, silence.
Like a silence?
No,
Like where you can't cast
say they've
spells?
got protected area on, but like you take it back off.
Oh,
like,
dispel.
That's a dispel. Okay,
Yeah.
we're right.
A dispel area?
That'd be
Stripper.
cool.
Stripper. I like the stripper thing. Maybe it'll be a stripper class.
Thank you. Maybe
It'll be a stripper, dude.
distraction. Every enemy has 5 seconds of distraction.
It stuns all male classes within a 10-meter radius.
Yeah.
Man. Let's see what else we got here. The Papuaclini Island thing.
Yeah, we saw a video of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
what is this?
Yeah, do you have a link for it, Russ? I can
So
find
it's the
Chemo's video. It's fucking weird, dude.
It's so bad.
At first,
Okay.
I was confused. I thought it would be like a quest line with some cool stuff to do, but now I'm pretty convinced that it's just a role play thing.
Yep. Hold on. Let me see if I can.
I can get Chemo's video here. I'll link this. This is a good one.
Yeah. So, so they
when
they
you
said,
see it, Sacha, you're gonna be like, "What
it's
the
new,
fuck?"
Let me explain. So it's a new battleground, Sasha. So it's you take the side of either the little otter people that are at South Calpheon, or you take the side of the Papu, which are the blue people in Kama. And then you fight with one of them. You choose which one you want to fight with. And so just watch this video that he linked.
Yeah, skip to like 45. Wait, let me see. Hold on. Let me find where he starts actually engaging. Okay, here. Skip to 2 minutes and 58 seconds in that video I sent you.
All right, I'm there.
All right, just
he's decked out in shells, dude.
Yeah,
wow.
So he's gonna fight this crab. Look at this combat, dude. This BDO enhanced combat. This is what Crimson Desert Online's gonna be, by the way.
Don't.
Look.
What's he doing? Wait, he's just blocking.
No, he's hitting it. He's actually hitting it.
With what?
I don't
know.
He's moving the shield. Look, he's moving the shield. He's smacking it with the shield.
No. This is like when the intern's in the workplace. And you're like, listen, try doing this, and he's now like showing them what he made.
All right, he's got a club. He's got a club now. This is better. Look.
Yeah, he's got a club now. This is gonna go way better.
This
way
is
better.
Fun and interactive gameplay right here.
Don't, dude. Oh no.
Dude, so when you're
working on this shit.
So when your attendance drops in Node War and Siege, Sasha, just know all your members are out there fucking hitting crabs with a club.
Fuck. Dude, this upsets me. They've worked on this, but fuck Siege. This, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the club should. Oh, he's spinning. He's doing okay. He spun. Wow. Maybe that's where Zerker Succession went. The rest of it, dude. This kid.
Here, wait. You gotta. There, one more. You gotta see this one. All right. So let me find the combat in this one for you. So this is the other race. So skip to 3 minutes in this one as well. 3 minutes in that video, and that's where he spawns the boss. The same fun and interactive crab boss, but with the other race this time.
Is that the same crab? Wait, this guy's got a helmet on.
Yeah,
he's got a helmet and a little sword.
He's decked out,
dude. No, this isn't getting released. Is this released or getting released?
This is on Korea. They have it already.
Why? What does this do?
Group content, dude. I like that it's not even group. He's by himself. Where's the war they were talking about?
Well, hang on. So this is a new battleground.
I guess.
Yeah,
This is what you said, right? It's a new battleground.
Something like that, yeah.
No, dude. You can't go from BDO combat to Lego combat. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Dude, it is Lego, right? Like, it almost seems like the left hand is controlling the crab, your right hand's controlling the character.
I love this game, but I'm listening to the bubble sounds he's making now.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
This
Dude.
is so annoying. Oh, why'd you guys do this to me? I was having a great day. I'm about to get another coffee. Now this.
All right. Now, hold on. I actually haven't seen this one. Hold on, I'm gonna copy it at the timestamp for you so you can see. There's a wizards and Wiz and Witch need not feel left out, boys. Here we go.
Why? Is there a caster
Check this
now?
out. There's a caster.
Oh shit! It's about to get real.
It's a caster. I linked it at the exact timestamp, so you just hit play. Look at this, dude.
Oh my god!
And-
It's like, oh my god! Is that Wizard Succession?
That's Wizard Succession.
Oh my god. My question is, how have these races survived in this world if this is how they fight?
Dude, these crab bosses like actually look so cool visually too. It's sad
Yeah.
that you have to fight them with a papu and a squirrel.
Dude, what? How have these races survived? Seriously. Like, what?
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, and keep in mind the otters live in the same forest as the Cyclops, so that's a
What
little.
the
That's a little.
Oh
awkward.
god. Yeah, so that's depressing, man. I hope that the thorn tree like battleground thing is better than that, dude. Please.
Is this the actual whole battle? What, is
I
this
don't know.
I don't understand this though. Where's the other people?
I can't find any video where there's more than just a squirrel or a skunk fighting a crab.
But even then, like, what do? Charge the 100 people into 100 people and throw shit at each other? Or like bubble walk and shield bash?
Yeah,
What?
dude. It's the new siege. This is the new siege, Sasha.
Dude,
This is what they've been
maybe
working on.
that's like a mount taming thing where he can ride the crab in the battle. That's cool.
Oh.
Maybe that's what that is. Like a minute of mount taming.
I think
and
you're
ride the-
desperately trying to find hope in this situation that we put you in.
Okay, hold on. I finally found some like this dude's PVXing or 1VXing. Here we go.
I'm actually scared,
What does
dude.
that mean in this context?
He's 1VXing. Hold on. There, I linked it at the exact time. You got it. He's 1VXing in that one.
God.
And the combat looks
Oh.
really fast and intuitive.
Yeah.
You're joking. Is this an archer?
I don't know. Dude, you know what? I can tell you, I know why. There's where the other people are that are supposed to be warring, they didn't show up because this looks awful. So the dude only went here by himself.
This
Oh,
is a kid's game. No, okay, that's what this is. This is like maybe someone's auto fishing, but their kid wants to play, so like they can play this or something. Like for 4-year-olds, 4 and under or something.
This is the healer mage archer? Oh my god, dude.
So now, Sasha, whenever somebody's being a fucking bot in your node war, you can tell them to go play this shit because that's where their
Yeah,
skill
what are you, a
level is.
papu? Yeah, exactly, dude.
Oh man. Yeah, it actually does make me a little bit sad. Because it's not like this took zero. Oh my god, dude. At 6 minutes, it's fighting seagulls.
No.
I love that, dude. I often
No.
try to kill them in Belia, dude. I can
Dude.
never kill them.
It's
Oh my
fighting
God,
seagulls
it
and
is.
it's losing! He got killed by seagulls! The bubbles.
Like I said, how did these races survive, dude?
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, so we have that to look forward to, dude. You thought Zerker Succession was bad. Oh, no, nay. I say no. They can do you one better.
Okay, well maybe have you heard about the Thorn Tree Castle, Sasha?
Nah, dude.
Okay, we can make your day a little bit better. So we don't have video of this one, but to give you the TLDR, they're releasing Ordolita, right? The thing that was supposed to come out like a fucking year ago.
Yeah.
Well, they're finally coming out with it, and there's this thing inside Ordolita called the Thorn Tree Castle. And they described it as a place where multiple adventurers will enter through different entrances into the castle. They have to fight various mobs and possibly even other players to get through all the floors to get up to like the final boss sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Something along
I mean, that
those
sounds
lines.
like it could be interesting.
Right. And that one you're on your
Yeah.
actual character. You're not a papu or a skunk or a squirrel.
Yeah.
Thank God. Take a couple of hours to get to the top of that thing. Yeah.
It's supposed to have PvP in it. So it's supposed to be like you go in,
Yeah.
you're trying to get through this thing, and then you team up with people in PvP, I guess. I don't know. So
Yeah, you
hopefully-
either team up with other people or you kill them to like take their rewards for yourself, I guess. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm assuming it's gonna be like you kill the mobs and they drop some shit, and then you want to complete the castle or whatever with the most shit that drops from the mobs, and then you can team up with other players to like spread the shit out but clear it easier, or you can kill other players and take their shit is probably what's gonna happen, I assume, right? Because that's how you would incentivize PvP, is you say, hey, if you kill this guy, then you get to pick up his like fucking tokens or whatever, and then make it to the end and you get more rewards or whatever.
Yeah. Garmoth in
Really
15 minutes,
interesting.
by the way. By the way, I had this memory from back in the day. I remember, I was thinking about this when you said that your Gear X are going to be moving up to 324 DP. When I first joined Blackrose, I'm pretty sure you had just increased the Gear X to either 301 or 309, because it was like January 2019, so the beginning of last year. And I remember everyone was complaining, like, what? Like, I'm trying to work on my AP, and this cost me this much billion silver. Like, this is so hard. Why are the Gear X? It doesn't even make a difference, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite lines that you posted, you put in the announcement channel to everyone. You just added everyone and said, for those of you complaining about the DP, Gear X, if you have any other complaints about the Gear X, if you don't want to get the Gear X, I understand. Please forward all your complaints to the Gem of Fortune, because that's your new guild.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. I'm
dude.
an asshole.
And since then, Fortune's only died twice, but I think they're back. I think they're back.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even know. And 324 isn't even that's low, dude. Honestly,
Dude.
it's
I know. At 340, I still get blown up, man. I don't know. That's crazy.
yeah.
That's why you just embrace it and sit at 301. Say fuck it, it doesn't matter.
On an archer.
Yeah, dude.
All right, cool. So this is where we're gonna go to the comments. Up to you, Sasha, if you want to stick around. It's just comments from the YouTube video from the week prior. Yeah, what do you want to do?
What's the time? 1 sec.
I don't know in Australia. We're 12 minutes away from Garmoth spawning. So what is that time?
I definitely need to do it before Garmoth.
Alrighty. Cool.
But
Well,
boys,
thank you so much for coming on, man. We appreciate it. You want to let the people know where they can find you on YouTube, Twitch? Where do you stream and all that sort of stuff?
yeah, you can find me on Twitch at Big Sasha _. I forget the websites and stuff.
Right.
That is it. Big Sasha _. You will find me there, guys, if you want to tune into shot calling and all the rest of it for Blackrose or shit talk. And thanks again, guys. Much appreciated.
Yeah, man. It was super fun.
Thanks for coming on, dude. It was fun.
Yeah.
Pleasure, boys. Have fun with the comments.
Alrighty. Take it easy, man.
See you, boys.
All right. I'm going to let you read them because my voice is still recovering. I had like the flu.
Your voice is recovering.
Yeah, my voice, I think people will probably notice, but my voice sounds weird. I was sick this entire freaking week, dude. It's been awful.
Really?
I had to call out of work like 3 times.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it was so bad, dude. It was so bad. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't sleep. It was fucking terrible.
Alrighty, I guess I'll read them then.
Alrighty,
There-
let
there-
me pull them up here.
There were
Good.
quite a few anti-Rezlar comments.
Yeah,
so
there's some good ones. I like these ones. I'm excited to
I'm
hear
glad
your
I get
responses.
to read those. I'm glad I get to read other people about how I should do my podcast. That's
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
fantastic, dude.
That's the way it goes, man. That's what
Let me
makes
know
this
whenever
fun.
you're
All right.
ready to start.
I'm ready.
All right, so top comment actually put in just 3 hours ago, so you barely made that, brother.
Nice.
Is from HZZ22. He says, your vids make grinding so easy. Make a new one. We are right now. Will Motto says, where's the podcast, dude? You guys used to upload every Monday. Where's the one for this week? We skipped this week. You would know that if you were in the Discord. Join the Discord. That way you know everything that's going on if we're missing. I will go ahead and let everyone know, and I forgot to tell you as well, Frosty, so here's your warning as well. I am going to be out of town next weekend, so I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do, if we're going to record early, late, or if we're just going to skip. We'll figure that out, and we'll announce in the Discord as soon as we get that figured out. But yeah, I'm going to San Antonio for PAX South, so I will be gone.
Nice. I didn't know you were a Spurs fan.
Yeah, dude, totally. Is that hockey?
Yeah, you know it's not hockey, you Texas son of a bitch.
Dude, I'm white.
I don't believe it.
Fawn says, I would like some tips on where to grind at what AP levels. Me am new player. Want to know where to go and where to get boss weapons, like drop-wise. Boss weapons you can only get from the bosses themselves. Obviously, you can get them from like events or just buy them off the market. But as far as just like drops, you're gonna have to kill the bosses themselves. This means you'll only ever get Beg's gloves from Beg, Garmoth from Garmoth, Zerka from Zerka, etc., etc. As far as grinding, you know, what AP at what grind spots, I mean, it's such a, like, what AP are we talking about? From 90 AP up to 300? Like,
So,
that is a lot of grind spots.
Someone was asking him that. Someone tried to help him in the comments. He said he was, this is a day ago, he was 102 AP. He was farming helms to make money, and he's Alon as a main grinder, not yet awakened, but he was saying he was getting beat up at helms, so he doesn't know where to go. He went to Iron Mine, but didn't get anything except EXP.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're getting beat up, that's more of a DP issue than an AP issue. You should be able to just look. Like, so one thing they did a while back is they added AP to all of the grind spots that aren't like the super early grind spots. So if you look over Medaya, you can see it says, for helms, it says optimal AP 90 to 110. So whenever it says optimal like that, it actually means that it's capped, which means that any AP over 110 actually won't count. So like if you look next door to it at Elric Shrine, it says 95 to 150. If you go over 150 AP, like that won't count. It'll be just like you're at 150 basically. Who the fuck is pinging so much that is shaking my goddamn map? Fuck off, kids. So yeah, just use that as like a guideline of where to grind. And if DP is an issue, then yeah, I'm not sure. Just try and grind somewhere with lower AP requirement. Like if Helms is a little too difficult, maybe go to Mains. Mains is 80 to 100, so it's just 10 AP less, you know, on the board that you should be able to grind there. So you just try that.
Yeah, and you just grind up a little bit here and there, and then, I mean, you get a ton of daily login rewards and stuff, so it should help boost you to, like, getting to bash and base and stuff pretty quickly.
Yep. So just look on your map for the little icons that tell you how much AP you need. And then once you get outside of, like, Medaya, I think Medaya is the place where it mainly is. Like, if you start looking in Valencia, you'll see it says recommended AP. Because it says recommended and not optimal, that means it's not capped. So, like, I can go there at 280. I can go to Bassi at 280, and even though it says recommended AP 190, I'll still be able to kill them like I have 280 instead of 290 because it's not capped, if that makes sense. So they made it a lot easier now to kind of figure out where you want to grind just by looking at the map. So just try and utilize that as best you can. With 102 AP, you generally just kind of want to stick to Medaya, honestly. And if you're just not feeling Medaya, you can always just go back literally across the continent to Manchons or Catfish until you feel like you got enough to tackle Medaya again. So.
Yep.
Yep. Talented Sniping says, you guys going to review Guardian when it launches NA? Define review. We'll talk about it, sure. Are we going to do like an in-depth review of it? Probably not. But yeah, definitely going to talk about it and talk about the reaction to it, what our thoughts are, things like that. So, absolutely.
You going to play one? Or level it up?
Yeah. I'm going to level one up. Whether I'm going to play it or not is still yet to be seen. I'm, like I told you, I think before we started recording, I'm really enjoying Archer at the moment, so I don't really want to reroll. The wizard buffs, if they're good enough, are kind of tempting. And then also, like, Guardian does look exactly my playstyle, but Again, I am terrified of that awakening outfit, so I need to see that awakening before I even think about re-rolling that. So that's kind of where I'm sitting right now.
Right.
Navy SEALs 000. When are you doing an updated tier list? Probably after all the successions come out. That's when I was thinking about tackling it again. Once all the successions come out, and we have a little bit of time for like everybody to figure out what successions do what, then we might tackle another tier list, and we'll probably have to do a separate. Like we'll probably have to say like, okay, so this is where we place Awakened Sork, and this is where we place Succession Sork.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spoiler: they're both in S plus.
I don't know. You and I have to talk about it, but I'm tempted to say we have to separate PvE from the discussion entirely.
Really?
Yeah, and then like maybe just add its own tiers, like if you're grinding, here's some good classes. Although in honesty, like as far as Succession so far, pretty much all of them are good at grinding.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is cool.
I'm curious for those of you that post comments and/or are in the Discord. Let us know if you would want us to do everything separated, so like we do like a PvE thing and a PvP thing, or if you want us to like keep it together with an overall grade. Kind of let us know what you guys think would be best, because that would be very helpful insight into what we think we should do. Tim1 says Kunoichi succession skills need to have cooldowns looked at. Maybe it doesn't affect 500 plus AP gear carried players such as Frosty, but for normal players that want to try it out, prepare to be disappointed. None of these succession skills should have longer cooldown than its absolute counterpart. That simply doesn't make any sense. In fact, they should be shorter to compensate for the loss of most awakening skills. Also, I don't understand how Prime Crest Slash made its way into the kit, as it is complete trash. That skill needs to be replaced with something actually good, and players grinding spots such as Manschwam should get used to chugging WP pots.
Okay, so I actually agree with most of what he says. The WP pots especially, and yeah, I don't fully understand the cooldowns on Succession Kuno. It's really weird. And while I'm gonna pretend he didn't take a shot at me for my gear, I also noticed the cooldowns, and it's really, really apparent in PvP and PvE at times, where, especially at higher end places like Secrea, where after my skill rotation, I'm kind of stuck. Like you don't have a lot of skills to rotate in there. You're stuck spamming like Foxclaw off cooldown until your stuff's or Foxclaw while it's on cooldown until your stuff's back. So I think the cooldowns definitely need to be looked at. Shackles, Moonlight, Shadow Explosion especially. And then the one thing I completely, like, absolutely disagree with is Crescent Slash. Prime Crescent Slash is really, really, really good. Like, Prime Crescent Slash is actually an amazing skill to use. It's not good in PvE for anything except for movement, but in PvP, it's really good. And if you think you're in danger, you can cancel it at any time with Smokescreen. So, yeah. Although with the Smokescreen thing, I kind of harken back to Smokescreen really needs a cooldown reduction, the same one that Ninja got. Like, it should be 12 seconds, not 14 seconds. And I'm going to say it here, and I'm going to say it everywhere, and I'm going to preach this probably on every podcast until I die. Succession Shadow Explosion, Prime Shadow Explosion needs to be super armor for the entire ability. It makes no sense that the windup is super armor and the rest of the skill is not when it has a super long attack. The damage is mediocre and it has no CC associated with it. I cannot for the life of me understand why it's unprotected. Yeah, it's fucking weird. So there's that. But overall, yeah, Crescent Slash. I don't know why you don't think Crescent Slash is good. I'm kind of curious on that. Maybe put another comment in and let me know why you think that. But Crescent Slash, especially mixed with Foxclaw for a CC fish randomly, because you can go like Ghost Step Crescent Slash. You can also Ghost Step Crescent Slash to get behind them with Foxclaw, and you'll get a stiffness. Sometimes you'll be able to just get a float if they're not ready, and you can also do Crescent Slash into Ghost Step Grab. It's like really good movement. So. Yeah, I think that's actually one of the better skills.
You wouldn't understand, Frosty. You have too much AP.
Maybe. Yeah, my Crescent Slash does just one shot. I am choice, so.
In one shot's choice.
Yeah, one shot time choice.
Orokami says another great podcast. Agree with Rezlar about first impressions of Successions. Pretty much anything in the game that opinions are pretty much invalid until you've had a chance to play / test things out for yourself. Seasonal content would be great, like in Diablo or PoE, but I'm more afraid of it becoming a seasonal reset where veterans just get a tiny head start.
I don't actually see that last part that you said.
Did you click read all, maybe?
It doesn't even have the option to on his comment. That's weird.
Oh. Well, I'm just better than you.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. That's where it's truncated if I'm not maximized. I didn't know that. Okay. Weird. Okay.
So this is my favorite. This next one is
All right,
my
here we
favorite
go.
comment of the week. I used to enjoy your podcast, but I can no longer take Rezlar, constant whining and false statistic. Apparently, I'm just throwing out a false statistic every podcast. Just
Yeah.
one singular false statistic. I hope this will be improve and rectify because this podcast has so much potential. I am grateful that you spent your own time making this podcast. However, if you could turn down your cynicism, it would be great. See, the thing is, it's like when people complain about me being negative, it's on the episodes where I feel like I was generally not that negative. Like, what did I complained about? What, Guardian Succession last episode? I think that was it?
I can't remember
Or not Succession,
because
Awakening?
well, I think last episode we talked about Zerker Succession a lot, but overall you were fairly moderate, so I don't know. At least
The only thing I was like super like this, I am not happy with this, was Guardian Awakening. That's the only thing I can remember being super like, this looks like trash. I hate this. Please don't do it like this.
I do also hate your false statistic, though. I'm with him on that one.
Yeah, dude, you hate my false statistic?
Yeah, you just sort of throw it in every once in a while, and I'm like, where's that stat even from?
I'm gonna need a scholarly article on that false statistic.
Yeah.
Oh man. But memes aside, dude, listen, it's not gonna change. I mean, I'm just gonna be upfront with you. I am who I am. I am who I am. If you're cool with that, then great. If you're not, then I mean, maybe this isn't the podcast for you, brother.
Dude,
I think
I
really think
I can give
it's
a good
important
example.
to this podcast as well that there is like, I mean, I know like everyone says, you know, oh well, Frosty white knights everything and Rezlar just hates everything. But there is some truth to that, in that Frosty usually has a positive outlook on things, and I have a negative outlook on things. And I think that's a very important thing to have in like an actual discussion about a topic, that you can have differing opinions on like random topics. So that's why I started this podcast in the first place. That's why I asked Frosty to do it, was because me and him would have these conversations in Discord where we would debate for like, you know, a fucking hour on some random bullshit that really didn't matter. And I think that more of that conversation, you know, not just from us, but for other people is good for the game. So,
yeah. As an example, when I used to be Rezlar's GM. We were in the same guild, and I was GM. And there were times, because Rezlar played a bit of a leadership role, so he'd help with shot calling or politics stuff or making decisions and this and that. And the guild would complain oftentimes about Rezlar being negative, and I just remember pulling Rezlar aside, like, dude, like, you gotta cheer the fuck up, man. Like, things aren't that bad. Everything's gonna be fine. Put a smile on. We're just here to have fun. And then he would be like, you know what? I'm quitting this fucking guild. Yeah, no, Rezlar is Rezlar, man. It's how he is. He's like Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebba Rezlar Scrooge. Also, I want to add.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's just how I've always been. I've always been as this guy would put it, cynical. Like, I've always looked at the bad side of things. I'm a glass half empty type of person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm more than happy to praise things when I see things I like, or, you know, say like, hey, I think this is a good thing. Like, I I want to so much talk about how much I love the infinite pots, but they won't fucking give them to us, so I can't talk about it.
Yeah. And in fairness, as at least from my point of view, maybe I'm wrong, but when you are being negative, it's at least coming from a place where it's like genuine. Like, it's not like you're being negative just for the sake of being negative. Like, he's being negative because he's actually just a negative son of a bitch, you know? That's really as real as it gets.
Well, and also it's like I wouldn't dude, you think if I did actually didn't care about this game and hated this game, I would complain about it as much as I do? Like, the reason I am so critical of this game is because I think it's a good game personally, but I think to myself every day, dude, how fucking great would this game be if X, Y, and Z happened? If it didn't have pay to win, if it had more PvE content, if it didn't fucking
Arenas.
if it didn't encourage bigger guilds to just squash smaller guilds.
If it had ladder arenas, if Shadow Explosion had super armor. I know.
Yeah, dude.
I'm with you. If Shadow clones matched the cooldown of Shadow Stomp in succession.
Well,
Things that just make sense.
Naruto, but
You know?
yeah.
Alright. Let's
Anyway,
move on.
yeah, that's rant over. TLDR, dude, it ain't changing. Sorry if that annoys you, but it's just kind of how it is, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'll keep the positivity up, Anthony. Don't even trip, right?
Yeah. So, also we have Nyashi on fairly frequently, and he is also a very positive person. So, you should have double positivity than negativity for the most part. So,
I'll give you your daily dose of positive. I actually think the Zerker Succession is one of the stronger ones out there. They just don't know how to use it. They're all idiots.
maybe.
I'm lying. I don't think it's that good. I mean, I don't know how good it is, really, but it definitely... I know it needs help.
I don't know if this is true. Someone told me Steve was liking it.
I mean, he hated it at first, for sure.
Yeah, I'm saying this was a couple days after it got released. This was yesterday or the day before.
There's a couple of people in my guild that are enjoying it, and I was 1v1ing with this guy who was actually hyped about it, and he was one of the first people I saw. He's like, dude, it's actually really strong and it's super fun in 1v1. So, but I think in large scale, I don't know. I mean, I've not seen.
You heard Sacha. You heard Sacha talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. In large scale, probably not so much. But it again, he compared it to Striker. It's a bigger problem, you know?
Right.
Because Striker, I mean, no one can argue that Striker doesn't have protection. It does. It's just that you just die.
Yeah, it's not iframes is the issue.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I can't be too critical of it because I'm not playing it, so I can't be oh, this is the worst shit ever. I can only say what other people have told me, and so far the majority of people have said, yeah, this is really fucking bad. So that's all I can go off of.
Dude, I just want to know if you are proud of me, considering Zerker Succession and Ninja Succession are out and are really cool looking and really strong, and I'm still on my Kuno.
Yeah, I am. You know what? I am. Good job, Frosty, not spending more money to go to Papuaclini Island.
When there was the discount, I have the coupons. I just haven't used
them.
Oh,
boy.
All right, they're there.
Oh, God.
They're in waiting. I'm waiting to see if Shadow Explosion gets super armor, and then we'll make a decision.
Dude, stop funding Papuaclini Island, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Laggy Skill says, how do you get a GM to refund your coupons? I bought a reroll set, sat in my warehouse for a month, then decided to finally reroll into a Shy. Then I realized I couldn't coupon my Dandy into Shy, so I sent him a ticket 6 hours after using 2 of the 3 coupons, asking my weapons reverted back, and the GMs told me they couldn't do anything for me. Feels bad, man. Ended up selling my weapons on the market and rerolling anyway a few days after because Shy was boring as fuck. So you don't tell them that oh, I don't like this class. Apparently, you have to tell them, oh, it was a mistake, which they know it wasn't. But if you tell them that, then they'll do it for you. And also, you can't have ever done it before.
Right.
So it's a one-time thing. But yeah, if you send a ticket in and say, hey, I accidentally re-rolled my coupons to the wrong class, and then they'll be like, oh, yeah, we do Pearl refund things, whatever. We can give you back the the pearls that you used or whatever. So, and they'll essentially undo it for you. But it should be noted you do lose Caphras, and what did he say you lost? Caphras, brand, and name. If you enhanced it to pin and had your name on it, that wouldn't be there either.
That happened to me.
Yeah.
I lost the name of my pens. It's alright.
So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's how you do that. Kelly Zeregby says Guardian Awakening, that picture kind of looks like Soraka from League of Legends minus the purple skin and horn. Yeah, the axe thing definitely looks a lot like Soraka's staff. And then also says, I think every game director should be mandated to have as much in-game playtime as the top 50 players in the game. It's beyond me if a game director does not have an in-game account, one he grinded from scratch, and one OP as well. Frosty, thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't get a Garmoth's art, so.
Oh, that's just the worst, isn't it?
Dude, fuck!
I didn't get one either.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely game directors should be playing the game. The problem is I don't know, like, I mean, maybe some of them are. I mean, are you talking game directors in Korea? To be honest, I would be surprised if there aren't some of the Korean devs playing the game regularly. I have a feeling they are. I think our reference point is Kakao, which I would imagine not a whole lot of the Kakao players are playing super seriously, but I do think the Korean devs have some players, so I don't know. Yeah. I think that they just need to get, I don't know, man. I think they need to get someone with the attitude that balance changes are okay. I think they take balance changing way too carefully. And at this point, it's like, you know, we just kind of want a meta change anyway. And if the balance changes aren't great, at least we know there's more coming. And right now, it's always just that feeling of like, I don't know if they're going to change this. I don't know. Like Shadow Explosion getting super armor, I can ask anyone in the game. There's no one that would think that that's unreasonable, and every Kuno thinks it's absolutely necessary. And it's just something that I have no idea if they'll ever even consider it. There's a really, really, really good chance it'll never happen. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yep. Austin Lasseter says season system makes me think of Tarot. When each season your old gear became total garbage, new gear drops that you're required to get to stay competitive. This sort of system scares me, as well as Black Star armor. Agree with Rezlar, they were so close to badass Amazonian woman.
So as far as the Guardian Awakening, I'm gonna still withhold judgment because it was sort of a cartoon render, not like an in-game screenshot, and with dyes and stuff, you could kind of mix and match and change, and you can still use the pre-awakening outfit. So I don't know. The other thing is the seasons. They tried to clarify a little bit on the seasons, but it still was kind of confusing. It looks. Here's what I gathered from it, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if you read into it, but it sounds like you start on these new servers that are kind of separate from the game completely. They're like Olvia servers, except for you can't get off of them with a character, and you can start as a new account or whatever, or maybe a new character on an existing account, and you're basically going to have like everything is going to be accelerated. So you progress through the game really quickly, and you're going to get like base armor and accessories that aren't going to transfer with you, but because they're starting off at like a higher level, maybe duo or try just from the get-go, that you can just get into the game really quickly and start grinding out and participating in the game and getting rewards. And then once you've geared up after 30 days or whatever the season end is, you can move over to the real account with the rest of the players, or real server. That's kind of what I gathered from it. I don't know about you. Did you read into that at all?
I did, but it was like, it gave me not a lot of insight. I couldn't figure out what they were trying to say, so I was like, whatever, I'll wait for it.
Yeah. So I'm still guessing on that, but that's how it sounded to me. I could be wrong, but it's not even on Global Labs or anything yet, so we just don't know. And then
yeah.
The Black Star armor, it really doesn't scare me because I think the Black Star weapon, the way they did it, is actually really cool. So if it's anything like that, I'm fine with it.
Yep, same. Methios War says, you guys got me through a rough enhancement session. Cheers, nice vid. I'm a Succession warrior. Thinking about going a Meiwa Succession or Kuno Succession, though.
I mean, both are good. He's coming from warrior, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, either one. I guess I don't like the warrior one personally. The Meiwa looks pretty cool. I just don't like the animations, but I like the playstyle and the skills and stuff. And then the Kuno one is really fun. It's weird because the Kuno one mechanically isn't that difficult, but I feel like decision making is super important because you just don't have protection like you used to. So you can like pop off with it, but you have to just know what you're doing and make good decisions.
Yep. The Shepherd 112 says, at Poly and low end, we archers only have a few skills to do, but at Ackman and beyond, there's a skill rotation to do that is most efficient. Nice to have another brother in the archer boy band, though. Jesus Christ, kill me. Also says, archer is fine at about 1600 to 1700 SP. I feel fine at 1655. Yeah, so earlier today, actually, I hit 1650, and I have literally everything that I want. So, and what I've been told that I need. And that includes like some flare skills that like I don't really use, but they said like, yeah, you can use this in certain situations, so grab it if you want.
So you have 1650 and that's basically everything?
Yep.
Nice.
Which is infuriating considering I'm at like 2200 on my Zerker and I still don't have everything I want on that. So
it's funny because now I've grinded a lot on Succession Kuno, so I have like 2530 now, but I had like 2250 before Succession came out, and I was like 25 skill points away from getting the last thing I wanted. And then with Succession, you really only need like 2150 or something like that to just straight up get everything. So I was like, well, okay, I guess this is easier to get, not harder. It kind of makes me think they need to do something with skill points that's more interesting. It's also, it's so crazy. I know this is such a weird thing to think about, but this is just what my brain goes through. Imagine being a new player, like you're a brand new player, and you see, like you get to 56, and now you get to choose like Succession or Awakening. I actually think that's super cool, starting from scratch. That I think that all of us that have been playing for a while kind of take for granted. Because like if you're a new player, you get to 56, and then you get like, okay, do I want to keep playing this style that I leveled up with that is actually really fun and this is why I like the class? Or do I want to do this Awakening that looks like flashy and cool,
Alright.
Yeah, it's actually kind of... I wish we had that when I first started. It's just kind of a cool thing,
But then a month later, they're going to become a meta slave in order to be competitive, and then they don't get the option anymore.
Yeah. Well, they eventually they roll ninja, so.
Yeah, eventually everyone rolls ninja, right? Where was I? Fry from Futurama says the best Zerker in this game has reroll to Archer Pepe hands. I think Choice is still a Zerker.
Choice is the best Zerker in the game. What about your buddy Silverback?
Silverback, dude?
That's toxic.
I don't know, who is the best Zerker in the game right now? I'm tempted to say Steve, but
it's gotta be it's gotta be Hulk Poppin', dude.
Hulk Poppin'?
Have you fought Hulk Poppin'?
I have not.
So Hulk Poppin', he likes to come up in my history rotation on Arsha, Q buff me, and then when I res up, he runs away and hides until his Q buff's back, and then he comes back and Q buffs me. And then he runs away and hides until his Q buff's up, and then he comes back and Q buffs me. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's basically 100% uptime on Q buff.
Sounds like you're a little triggered there, friend.
You gotta be a special kind of talented to be him, Dude, I ran into a, let's say, I'm gonna call it just to be G-rated. I ran into an alternate grinder for Snake last night, and I asked him to duel for spot, and he kept saying spot here. He kept saying spot here, and I was like, duel for spot. He's like, spot here, and I was like, all right, duel for spot. And then he's like, KK. So then we duel, and I just immediately, because I knew like the dude wasn't understanding what I was saying, and probably doesn't understand the mechanics of the game. He was a witch and not the real player. And I immediately, right when he said R, I just went into concealment and then walked up and grabbed him.
Because you're a scumbag, dude.
Dude, it felt so good. And he was like, he said, like, if that was actually the real player, he would have been like, dude, what the fuck? Like, seriously, you're just going to go concealment? But instead, he said, good fights, and he channel swapped.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was so good, dude.
Wait, so was this the guy that said, please let me have spot?
No,
Or
that
was
was
that another
a
guy?
different, that was an alternate grinder, but I don't know what guild he was in. He was in a different guild. But yeah, that guy, no, I sent him the message that my employer will fire me if I don't get the spot, and he just put question marks, and then I put question marks, and went back and forth, and then we dueled for spot, and I also went into concealment against him, and he didn't say good fights, but he did change channels. Like, imagine if you came up to someone and said duel for spot and they went into concealment. Like, that's bullshit, right? Like, no respectable person would do that. That's why I thought it was so funny that they didn't complain or anything. They're like, he got me. Good fights. I'm out of here.
they got me.
Yeah. Fuck. He bested me. All right. I'm out. Good fights.
You're just the better player, dude. I know it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Spectral.
Yeah, so Spectool says, I had a stroke, Lamau. Sorry about that. Today was a short podcast, but still all love. Appreciate it, brother. Hopefully this one makes up for it. I feel like it will.
This one is much, much longer, dude. We're over 3 hours already.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah,
all
we
right.
gotta get through this.
Yeah, only 6 more to go. Lil Pork Chop says, I'm okay with Guardian. So far, she's the femme Zerker. I wanted having an awakening that makes her magic girl isn't too bad. It's just a warrior that ascended to god status. There are many heroes in mythology that started off as rough humans and then became very well dressed and fancy gods. Yes.
I like that positivity. And, well, the theme is holy fire, and they told us that from the beginning. So I feel like Mystic plays
I just hope it's
rugged...
not a central theme.
What do you mean? What's a central theme?
I don't want it to be... You know how Mystic Awakening, they like randomly came out of nowhere and were like, by the way, now everything is a water dragon? I don't want it to be that.
Right, you want them to stick to a theme. But I do think the Awakening is going to be purple flames and fire.
Purple flames?
No, sorry, not purple, pink. Yeah, if you look at the little like flames on the edge of the axe and the little teaser thing, it looks like it's like light pink like flames are going to be associated with the skill animations.
I guess we'll have to find out. I don't know. I just hope that they keep, like, if they do want to make it, like, some fire or celestial type, like, skills, like, I think that's perfectly fine. But I hope they keep the, like, brutishness and the like, heavy-handedness of, like, what the pre-awakening is. Like, I hope they don't, like, entirely, like, do it, like, Mystic is, like, a perfect example in my mind. Because Mystic pre-awakening is, like, martial artist, like punching and kicking and doing fucking backflips and fucking whirlwinds and all kinds of crazy shit. And then it's like, oh, by the way, water dragon. And it's like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, water dragon. Not even close to what it was before. I just hope they don't do that. That's all I want.
All right. Adamemnon.
I don't know how to say this name.
Adamemnon
Spaz says, I've started practicing 1v1s as a wizard recently, and it seems palatable if the opponent does not build knockdown and grapple resist. If they do, it's real difficult to survive with the lack of movement. I don't think resists do anything.
Yeah, resists are weird, man. I feel like resists only work and screw me over when they're already CC'd and I'm trying to get a refloat. Otherwise,
yeah, pretty much.
Resist. I swear, if someone is unprotected and I hit them, it's like 99% chance they're CC'd.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I think 1v1 wizard is okay. You have to really, really work on it, and you have to have class knowledge on everybody, and I think it will feel even better with the changes coming. So, if you're good, you will still win in 1v1s, I think, against a lot of classes. Probably not Ninja, though.
Probably not Ninja. Lord X says, Happy New Year. WoW movie is watchable if medicated with some good smoke. Succession sounds really fun. Can't wait till we get it on console in 2021.
That's optimistic.
Yeah, that's real optimistic, dude. What the hell?
Yeah.
But you know the order? The order is KR gets it first, then it gets put on the global test lab.
KR gets it, then it goes into alpha testing.
Then it goes to SEA, and then it goes to North America EU, and then there's like a huge delay, and then console gets it.
Yeah.
King Pessimist says Rezlar just wanted a female Zerker, pretty much. And thank you for the podcast. This is one of the best channels that I discovered in 2019. Appreciate that, brother. Glad you enjoyed.
Same. Thank you very much.
Clayton Alexander says, what Rezlar whining about? First of all, we don't know how Guardian will be. We have a single picture. Secondly, she looks more muscular and manly than half the male characters. I agree with that second part, actually, which is funny. But you can tell a lot from a class's Awakening costume. I don't know why you're pretending that we can't tell a single thing about it by looking at the picture. You can definitely tell a lot. So... it's literally like the person said earlier, it looks like a goddess like outfit or like a priestess outfit or something. So, well, what do you think it's gonna be? Like,
she certainly looks more manly than the character Rezlar currently mains.
Hey man, I made my character as edgy as it could be to try and balance this shit out. Think I like looking like a I don't want to get too politically incorrect. Do you think I want to look like a person who has swapped their gender?
See, so Styrofoam Rock's comment is kind of how I feel about the Awakening and like being worried about the Awakening.
Yeah, so Styrofoam Rock says, I'm interested to see Guardians Awakening, and at least we have Succession now if Awakening isn't your cup of tea. Yeah, so now that we apparently, I mean, we don't know, obviously, but if that Succession outfit is the Succession outfit for Archer, you can take that as confirmation that it is in fact getting a Succession, then I feel like it would be safe to assume that we're getting a Succession Guardian as well, right?
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Now that we have that information, I'm less worried about the Awakening, but I still I like the Awakening format. I like the having more skills, the swapping between weapons. It's a format that I really enjoy in BDO, and I'm not too keen on Succession, with the only exception being Warrior, because I never really was a huge fan of the Greatsword. I was always a sword and board guy. That's why I like the class. But with that's literally the only exception. Every other class in this game, I like that I've played. I like the fact that I can swap. I like Archer Awakening. I like Moose Awakening. I like Zerker Awakening. I like Wizard Awakening. I like Witch Awakening. So, but we'll see. Maybe Guardian is going to end up being like Warrior for me personally, where I just don't really care for the Awakening that much. And now that Succession is out, I don't have to bother with it.
See, I'm kind of torn because there's like some classes where it totally makes sense. Like I think Witch, going from staff to the orbs is cool and thematically makes a lot of sense. I think the Tamer one is like fairly natural. The Ranger one though is like a good example of like people just wanted a bow class, and with Awakening they were stuck having to be melee. But then some of the classes have like, even though the theme fits, like on Dark Knight, that two-handed, like, I'm dragging this heavy sword around, but I'm still kind of a magic class, is really cool. And I feel like the Awakening was so different than the pre-Awakening that it was, I don't know. Some people weren't excited about the Dark Knight Awakening. Even though it was strong, it was like, oh, it's just like a caster, you know?
Right.
So I kind of like that there's at least the option now. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. Shorten cooldowns on Kuno, though, please. Yeah. I mean, dude, I can't get over, like, Smokescreen just sticks out like a sore thumb to me, because think about, like, the Ninja Smokescreen has a 2-second shorter cooldown in Succession than the normal Smokescreen that normally both Kuno and Ninja have, and the AoE is bigger, and it adds a bleed. But the Kunos stay the same. Like, it's so weird. I don't
You know what blows my mind now that I've played Archer? How does Lithurgan's Call exist in its current form?
Is it strong?
It's insane. It's an 8-second cooldown, forward guard while charging, except for you don't even need to charge it up all the way if you don't want to. You can insta-cast it if you do an uprooting first, or a slide.
Right.
Or not like insta-cast it, but quick cast it, where there's like absolutely no animation.
By the way,
Like, it's an insane skill. And then I just think, like, meanwhile, Ancient Wave, like, hello? Like, a third of the distance, like, maybe 1.5 amount, like, more damage. Maybe. I'd probably less than that. But, like, a third of the fucking distance, protected while charging, except for you have to get so close to use it, so it's like, okay, that's useless. And it's a 30 fucking second cooldown, bro. How? Explain to me. Why is that skill a 30-second cooldown?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I feel the same way about Heart Snatch on Kuno compared to Ninja's Illusionary Restraint, where it's like that it's their Rabam skills, where like Heart Snatch is a 30-second cooldown, Illusion's only 20. Heart Snatch says invincible while invisible, but you're never really invisible, so you never have protection. The Ninja one is Frontal Guard, and if the Frontal Guard is hurt, it automatically iframes you backwards, which is interesting. And it does more damage. And the AoE is like a circle, not just in front of you. So yeah, it's fucking weird, man. I don't know. Hopefully, some of this stuff gets retouched.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like it's just some of the older classes, they just gotta, like, take another look at as a whole, honestly.
I sound negative on it,
know.
but I really do like Kuno Succession a lot. I think they did a really good job with it. It's just like little things. It's like borderline, like a freaking great class. It just needs like cooldowns reduced and shadow explosion protection. It would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I haven't really fought a lot of Kunos, honestly.
Yeah, you have, but they're on ninjas.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's all I've been fighting recently is ninjas and fucking sorks. Actually, I don't fight ninjas or sorks. I just get conceal grappled by ninjas or double DOD'd from 500 meters out by sorks. So
have you 1v1'd a sork on your archer?
I don't 1v1. I'm not good enough right now.
Oh, okay. Because I was talking
I'm like just starting to get to the point where I think I'm good in large scale.
Right. I was talking to General Moores, and he was telling me that he actually prefers almost always to fight the Succession version of a class against his archer in a 1v1 than the Awakening. And he was saying like part of it is just class knowledge because the people don't know what to do against it yet. But I don't know. He was saying like, yeah, so I'd prefer to fight Succession. They do a lot of damage, but I die fast anyway, so I'd rather them like be making mistakes and catch them a lot easier than when they're in their Awakening. Anyway, we should probably wrap up. This has been a long one. I gotta go in a second.
Yeah, we got war in 25 minutes. You guys warring tonight?
Yeah, I gotta do my mandatory days today and tomorrow, and then after that I'm gonna try to merc out this week. My freaking guild place is so early, so I have to like oh shit, dude. I got I guess I top fragged in the last war. I just got my Battle of Honor.
Nice. You should come merc for Clash someday, dude.
Today? I can't today. Today and tomorrow my mandatory.
Someday.
Oh yeah.
Someday.
No, for sure. Yeah, I'm down.
I mean, if you ever just want a node war where it's literally RBF.
I merked in there once, remember? We were against
I know. And you were like really annoyed because we are literally an RBF node war guild.
Well, I was mostly annoyed because I was on Sork, and I feel like I don't know. the travel time to where we were going was fucking obnoxious. So like dying was super punishable. It was like, oh my god, dude.
And we didn't have a flag, and it was like, yeah, that no door was really cancer. They had doom horses that kept killing all of our fucking rebuilds.
Yeah, you were loving that one. That was the day you started hating doom horse like with a deep passion.
Yeah, that was the node war where I borderline had a meltdown about doom horses in our base. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to end the podcast here, guys. Make sure to check out Sacha. Big thanks to him for hanging out with us. And I am going to have his Twitch link in the description below if you want to go check out his Twitch. He streams fairly often, so you can go see him in all his endeavors in life and BDO. Make sure you leave a comment telling us your thoughts on this episode of the podcast, any of the topics that we talked about, obviously. And again, let us know if we did do another, or I should say when, because we are going to do another one. It's just about when and how. How would you like to see the next tier list, right? So should we separate it? Should we keep it together? Kind of, if you have an opinion on it, let us know. If you don't have an opinion, then you don't got to say anything. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Frosty, you got anything?
Share the podcast, share it in your Discord, share it with your friends, and word of mouth, and in game and outside of the game, and all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna put up a Reddit post this week for Sacha and kind of promote the stuff he said. It was really interesting, and yeah, so I'm gonna spread the word, get us out there.
A question: when are you guys' new album coming out?
It'll be a little bit. We had a little bit of a hiatus because over the holiday, like my singer was gone and he just got married, so they were on like a vacation / honeymoon, and they just got back. So we haven't done any work for like the last month, but we're about to get back to it. We're getting there. The recording process is done. We're just doing editing, and then we're gonna move into mixing. So maybe a couple months.
Okay.
Everyone will know.
Curious.
Yeah, I'm excited about it though. I think it's coming out.
Yeah, you got some bangers in there?
We got some bangers. We got some cool new tunes.
Alright, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next time.